Cek, halo. Oke, hari ini kita bakal streaming. Akhirnya gue nggak main Palo ya. Cuman ini masih lama sih kayaknya ya. Kalau ngeliat di sini masih 13 menit. 13 menit pun belum mulai kan. Match saya jam 10. Jadi gabut sih basically ya. Cuman kayak kalau nunggu match mulai tuh kayak aduh lama banget. Gue keburu teler gitu kan. Keburu ngantuk guanya. Terus gak ngapa-ngapain juga kan. Jadi gue mulai sekarang. Musik gue gak selain itu. Gue baru sadar ada agent baru ya di akhir 24 Maret. Menarik sih kalau controller baru. Tapi ya kayaknya kita cuma bakal nonton apa namanya, Edward Gaming EDG lawan PRX Sentinel jam 1 ya. Terlalu malam. Gue besok mau keluar jadi kayak gue tidak akan begadang. Kalau nanti di final mungkin bakal begadang. Mungkin. Tapi final pun jam berapa sih? Kalau kita lihat, thank you Proc, welcome. Kalau kita lihat di sini finalnya tuh final lo nggak tahu ya, masih Swiss format dulu. Ya harusnya sih jam 10 ya. Jadi ya let's see lah, kalau ada PRX dan nggak jam 1 malam ya, gue mungkin bakal watch party. Tapi kalau yang lain tergantung mood paling. Kalau PRX kalah duluan ya udah kelar. Tapi setahu gue kalau Swiss format itu bakal main terus deh. Tapi gue lupa sampai berapa kalinya. Cuman kayaknya hampir ketemu semua tim nih. Jadi PRX bakal main berkali-kali sih harusnya ya. Cuman ya let's see, masih 11 menit. Agak menakutkan sih ya PRX sekarang. Kayak kemarin yang pas di Pasifik tuh kayak belum nyatu gitu loh. Kayak PRX yang kemarin tuh hilang. Karena nggak ada jingnya kan. Jingnya kan gila kan, nggak jelas, emang jing banget. Tapi ya let's see lah ya. Semoga tidak terjadi hal-hal yang tidak diinginkan. Karena gue ngeliat EDG kayaknya tidak terlalu jauh berbeda deh sama yang kemarin. Yang jadi masalah tuh cuma di PRX ya. PRX lah yang bakal jadi tanda tanya. Ini dia bisa ngimbangin EDG dengan ya mungkin performanya nggak terlalu beda jauh sama kemarin atau enggak gitu kan. Jing ganti monyet soalnya berubah banget playstyle. Ini lucu sih. Yang EU penatih gak lolos, aneh banget. Yang lolos malah tim Heretic sama Carmine Corps, aneh banget. Juara dunia nggak ada yang masuk. Nah, kan gabut ya. Masih kalau streamnya 11 menit, 10 menit tuh biasa kan intro dulu ya. Kayak mendingan gue deathmatch dulu gak sih? Kalau nggak bengong salah. Iya, kayaknya deathmatch dulu cukup asik daripada gabut. Kalau deathmatch, halo Ahmad, welcome. Kalau deathmatch gue harus pakai headset. Ya, kedengeran nanti. Ini deathmatch gabut. Nih, ya ini wallpaper gue. Kalau supaya gue bisa kuat ya menghadapi cobaan hidup tiap hari ya, kayak put the salt on the wound. Display, game capture.
Match found.
Oke, kita deathmatch lucu-lucu. Sembari menunggu. Oh no, Valorant-nya stuck. Encoding overloaded.
Deathmatch. Warm up.
Sejak kapan gue pakai Prime ya?
My people, are you ready? You must cultivate a sense of calm.
Fight.
Rise and bring glory. I dropped your viper.
Aduh, posisi gue tidak kelihatan. Kurang gue ya. Bang, gue liat ternyata cara main Gwen di kayaknya gue gak ngasih tutor. Itu gila, itu udah video lama banget anjir. Udah berapa tahun yang lalu.
Too easy, too easy.
Kayak gue gak ngasih tutor deh, gue cuma nge-review gak sih. Kayak gue belum buka tapi lu ada. Anjing. Sabun gitu gue. Ada Wati. Asik banget tuh kayak jalan-jalan. Ayo Wati, lu besok mau traktir gua kan? Besok gua mau pergi nih. Oh, gue bukan kok makin tolol ya? Mohon maaf nih. Crosshair gue kemana sih anjing? Gak jelas. Crosshair gue, dari tadi gak ada yang kena ya?
Nice. I punish you.
Ini. Anjing. Set, orang-orang tuh nembak jauh kok pada tajam banget ya. Gue aja ngeliatnya udah susah. Jadi gue pegel ya. Set, di swing gitu gue.
Spotted. I take them out.
Buset. Bisa kayak gitu ya?
See this dead fool. Oh.
10 kills remaining.
Enemy punished. Trinity, you're welcome. Oh, come on.
Dominating.
I killed them. Just swag.
Oh. Tuh. Lu gue digituin lah.
Five kills remaining.
Gak jelas.
One kill remaining.
Oke.
Industry.
Belum. Belum mulai. Masih belum mulai. Masih belum mulai. Oh, tapi udah countdown sih, udah 5 detik. Bentar.
Selamat malam untuk para agents dan selamat
Baru mulai.
City 2024 Master.
Masih 15 menit, guys.
Hari kedua dan kita masih ada di fase Swiss stage. Tentu hari ini set yang akan menemani kalian semua diganti terlebih dahulu Abigail sebagai host, kemudian
Yang di YouTube delay lama nggak sih?
Yang ditanya-tanya, Bella pensi nge-cash kah? Bella pensi nge-cash kah?
Ah, itu dia tuh.
Katanya.
Itu dia. Ya, stop tanya-tanya terus.
Gua kira bentar lagi Bel mau pensi. Kan katanya lu mau fokus game changer.
Jorok
Amit
mulutnya emang.
amit ya ampun.
Jorok emang dapa
Emang
mulutnya.
nih dapa. Ada maksud terselubung, Mak. Ada
Ah
maksud
iya, kalau
terselubung.
gue memang punya maksud terselubung. Kalau acara ini udah live, memang
Valorant yang Pasifik nggak ada Twitch ya?
mengajak para agents di rumah yang terkasih dalam cinta kasih Mobile dan Riot Games untuk follow sosial media kita. Tetap Informasi lebih lengkap melalui Facebook di Valorant Esports Indonesia. Tapi kalau kalian lebih
say given the circumstances, Brandon, but it feels like this team has lost a little bit of that luster.
Yeah, I'm a little bit concerned about map pools, I think, as well. This is a point I wanted to make about the shaky map pools for PRX coming into this event, because what you just saw there was them trying issue for A approaches, and Genji just watch the bloods, they're doing a lot of aggressive extremity control out towards Gelato. Here's another attempt as well from Genji, where they just sent everything, the kitchen sink at them when they had this. And it really caught a team like PRX off guard when this comp on Ascent, they ran out against T1. It was looking pretty good. And I think this is a danger for this team, because right now it feels like they don't have a strong footing on a large variety of maps.
Punya gue menikmati cemilan gue.
They're really trying to come to grips, I think, with how to flesh that out. It's more evident as well when with their split comp. I think they ended up just replacing last minute the Sky just one-to-one with Yoru to run the triple duelist. And this is a team that really, they do just throw sugar at the wall sometimes, man. They really do, and they see what sticks.
There, buddy.
They see what sticks. I mean, listen, we're not PG-13. I could say that, but I'm not going to. Listen.
We're talking about Gecko, obviously.
Yeah, well, whatever. Dude, this squad, I think, has had time, though, which is one of the benefits. Their kickoff qualification happened weeks ago. They've had some of the most team out of any team at this event to actually shore up their map pool, and that's what I want to see from them here, I think, at Madrid, is actually showing the evolution of their comps. They've got some cool ideas, but I don't think it's strong enough initially, from what I've seen all those weeks past, to really make a strong showing in Madrid.
Yeah, exactly. That's what we were talking about, you know, the slow start that they've had for the year. I really hope that they use that time to think of what they want to do when they come to the big stage. Those mistakes of like cutting someone literally in the middle of the usage of an ultimate, having no response to that, having no one covering for it, feeling maybe too cocky and confident.
Shaky map pool.
Set plays are going to work. They will not work here because every single team
Nah, menangnya tuh kayak gue gak tenang gitu loh.
in them, a little bit of crazy comms, a little bit of advancing in the meta as well. So if we thought that PRX was going to be just a team with flashy comms that always makes it long and deep into tournaments, this should not be the case anymore.
Yeah, I think we now just have to, rather than say W Gaming, no, it's
they're the fastest.
It's got to be W
far.
strategy at this point, right? We need to see a little bit more from them. We got to get a little bit more in the oven from Alex and the rest of the boys, and I know that they feel the same way too. But for more on PRX, let's go ahead and send it over to Yinsu once again, who's standing by now with Forsaken.
Here we are, everybody's favorite team, W Gaming, PRX. Hi, Forsaken, welcome back to Masters. Now, you're not coming in here as the #1 seed of Pacifics, and some people kind of feel like maybe you're not as good as some of the other times you've been to a tournament, so tell me, how good are you guys right now?
I would say 6 out of 10 for this tournament, but maybe you can improve more, who knows?
We get a 10 out of 10 maybe later?
Hopefully.
I believe we're going to see it. Good luck, Forsaken.
Very fascinating to hear Forsaken, you know, feel not as confident, which is kind of odd coming into this here. And let's actually take this opportunity to talk about him, because I think that, you know, it is reflected, Kukuka, in the performance that we've seen from him so far. A dynamic player that has kind of been tempered a little bit coming into Madrid.
Yeah, exactly. And he's also, you know, been playing many different roles. We've seen him in many different agents. And I think that adds to the flexibility of PRX. He wants to do Mr. Do It All. We know that we've seen it in many tournaments. Just having, yeah, but that's the thing. These flashy plays are the reason why we love Forsaken.
Yeah, I think as well, him taking up that IGL
Belum
mantle
mulai, belum mulai kok.
as well. He's really has stepped into this role. Used to be, you know, kind of known just
Dia
for
masih
playing
asik
Jet, but he
menikmati
has
makanan.
that flexibility to them. I'm just
ngeliat
wondering a little bit
recap
about,
yang
like I said,
kemarin.
prior point about that map pool flexibility. It comes down to the ideas that they're throwing into the mix, because it does take a lot of times to really shore up your identity on some of these maps. When they were running the triple duels initially on Split, for example, it was just the attack side, we're hitting A almost 12 rounds in a row.
Yeah.
And it felt like there wasn't really too much change up. In the finals, they actually did add a bit more nuance to it. I will give them respect for that. So I'm hoping, honestly, that we do see the best out of PRX. I don't want them to show up to this international event and we see that weaker form of them, that weaker side of them.
Yeah,
lucu banget boneka, gue pengen boneka wingman anjir, lucu banget.
And actually all of the players
Lucu
are
banget,
somewhere in
wingman.
the middle, but we're not going to be finding them in the top 10. Maybe something, not something, the player something,
Of course.
on that top 10, but actually they're not topping up. They're not have this crazy, super flashy players. They do not have like, an array that is, you know, topping the region and actually giving us a reason to really support just based on numbers and looking at it from the outside.
Yeah, it's, you know, they have a tall order ahead of them there, and they've been faced with many challenges, and actually the challenge that they were faced when Kukuka had a chance to sit down
kalau yang beruang kan Brim,
penguinnya Killjoy. They were testing out a bunch of different cuisine options here in Madrid, so let's go ahead and check it out. Some local cuisine, shall we? What you got over here, Kukuka? Let's see.
Hello everyone and welcome to One Tap on Tap Us. I am joined by Forsaken and Monier from PRX. And guys, I'm gonna ask you
Monier.
while I ask you,
Boleh ngomongnya Monier.
Okay. Have you had the chance of trying some Spanish food?
No.
No?
This is my first time.
Okay, what about you, Forsaken?
I tried one in the hotel. It's called something paella.
Okay, did you like it?
Yeah, I like it.
Okay, so I'm just gonna ask our amazing people to just bring some food in. Okay, so for this
Gue juga kalau dulu waktu gue lupa main apa ya. Tapi gue tuh dulu ada pernah beberapa kali main game online pakai nama Godot kan. Bule tuh manggil bukan Godot, tapi kayak Godot. Kayak
Wait, is it here?
aneh banget.
That's exactly that.
Oh, it's so soft.
Kayak dot itu jadi dough. Godot.
I'm going to ask you to rate them as well.
Aneh banget.
So I just
Bule manggilnya kayak gitu anjir. Karena nggak cuma satu yang kayak gitu, ada banyak.
Monia, thoughts? What do you think it is?
This kind of like a ham, I think.
Yeah, it's ham.
Do you like it?
Definitely ham.
I like it.
You like it? What
I mean, yeah, I always eat breakfast with this. So.
Okay.
Itu ham.
Chicken or ham, I'm not sure.
Okay.
Kalau Muslim gimana anjir dikasih babi?
Very nice. You like it? What grade? How from 1 to 10? How do you rate it?
I rate it.
Cahya tuh, Cahya Bali Hindu ya?
I already eat 6 because I don't really eat this breakfast, like this kind of breakfast.
Cahya Bali, tapi Hindu atau Islam dia?
The second one. I hope you guys didn't have breakfast this morning. I'm gonna pass you your forks.
Anjir.
Okay.
Gue kaget gitu, Cahya dikasih babi anjing.
Thank you. Okay. I'm gonna guide you as well because this is going to be complicated.
Itu kalau Muslim parah.
Okay, you have it.
Anjir dicekokin anak orang, di prank. Tapi kalau nggak tahu nggak apa-apa kan? Ini kan literally nggak tahu ditutup matanya.
You have it. I put it on your fork. Yeah, you're ready. Yeah. Have it ready. Monia, what are your thoughts?
Okay.
How does it taste?
Anjir dicekokin ham.
Oh.
I like potato.
Okay.
With tomato sauce, I think.
Tomatoes. It's a bit of tomato, yeah.
Yeah, it's potatoes, I think.
It is potatoes. You guys like it? This is patatas bravas.
Patatas bravas.
Bravas.
Ham itu udah pasti babi gak sih?
Patatas bravas. Okay, how do you rate this one? Do you like it?
7.5, I think, out of 10.
7.5 for you?
I like potato.
8. Oh, so you like it more than the jamón. That's interesting. Okay, for the next one, this is very typical Spanish, and everybody loves it here. Yeah. Thank you very much. Oh, I'm loving this one. I'm just going to cut it for you and give it. This is very typical Spanish. And I think... Oh, sorry. Here. It's a bit complicated. Here. You got it?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Wait. 1 second.
Oh.
Very typical. And you have to like this one. If you like the previous one, you will like this one. Okay, you guys can go ahead. I cannot promise that I won't eat this afterwards. Thoughts? What's in it?
It's an egg.
It's an egg.
Yeah.
There is egg. Do you want to have some more?
Yeah, one more time.
Yeah?
This is egg.
Doyan anjing.
It has something else though.
I have no
Anjir,
idea.
lu mah doyan anjing.
I don't know, it's something new.
Would you like it?
Yeah, not bad.
Egg, potato.
Yes, there is potato.
Spring onion, I think.
Can I try it again? 2 piring anjing.
So what do you think it is?
I think I saw this in the hotel. I think it's
Probably.
Spanish omelette, I think.
Yes, exactly. This is tortilla de patata. Okay. What
Can I get rice and a plate of sambal? You have sambal?
Yes, good, because this is one of my favorites. I'm very happy that you guys liked it. Okay, so the last one is very easy. You can use your hands for this one. Let me just, thank you very much. Thank you. I will guide you, no worries. Okay. So you're here.
Itu apa anjir?
You are here. Yeah. Grab it. Is that a funky texture, right? It's very like soft.
It's creamy, right?
Yeah, it's creamy.
So
it's okay if it crumbles in your hand. It's you can grab it however you want. Yeah, you can grab it like that.
Ini gue yakin dibuka pun mereka nggak tahu makanannya apa anjing, ngapain ditutup matanya.
Okay. What's in it?
Orang Indo nggak ada yang tahu itu apa anjir.
Cheesy. Do you like it?
Kayak nggak guna deh ditutup.
It's a really
Like cheese croquette.
It is It is actually a croqueta. This is also one of our very typical dishes, but this one I believe has jamon also in it. You know, we mash with all this.
I didn't test the ham though.
Oh, okay. It's okay. You can have some more. Okay, I'm gonna ask you to take your blindfolds
Ntar
off.
kebuka Valorant.
Would you recommend to everybody to try this food at home, or if they come to Spain?
Yeah, the Spanish omelet is really good.
Okay, what about you?
Yeah, I think the Spanish omelet. I agree with Monya.
Okay, thank you very much, guys. I hope that you enjoy the rest of this day, and of course you win some matches.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Diracunin bego. Kalah sih PRX tuh diracunin sih.
I learned a little funny thing because we went out to dinner with our Spanish colleagues over on the Spanish commentary team, and they were telling us about the great debate in Spain about the Spanish omelet with cebolla or without cebolla. That's onions.
Sumpah boneka Wingman lucu banget.
So now I'm like,
Ada nggak sih di
I'm on
Indo?
the onion train.
Yeah, exactly. Many people do not, just because they don't like the
Coba
taste
kita
of
lihat
the onion
top.
when it's a little bit cooked. Especially when it's on the omelet, you have to try
Why
it
is this
to actually
controversial?
because some people say that the best tortilla de patata is without onion,
Or just
but actually the
onion?
best tortilla de patata has onion.
You heard it from
And
the
it's a
queen
bit
Ya nggak ada ya
funny.
boneka rajut
It's
Wingman.
very easy to make and it's very yummy. I can
and
teach you guys to make.
I will be.
Nggak ada boneka
Actually,
Wingman
we
itu.
should make a piece where you try and flip it because the difficult part about making a tortilla is actually
Dia
to
mesti
flip it
datang
and
ke
not
venue
make
ya
it.
kayak gituan.
Yes. All right, well, we'll do some more cooking bakukuka later on today. That sounds really good. Or one tap tapas. But in any case, so let's go ahead and see the results for the MasterCard fan poll. Earlier, we asked you guys if the number one seeds will walk away with the dubs today, and you said that the number one seeds will take it, but number 3, a mix of both, right behind Bren.
Mild,
Kayak acara
Mild.
mild, 3's mild.
3 is mild. Yeah, I know. Commit to something, you cowards.
Kayak kemarin nggak tahu, gue nggak datang.
I wouldn't know what
Emang
to
nggak
do in
ada.
that poll, honestly. I mean, I don't know. Which direction is this going to go into? Because
Seed ones.
Yeah.
you think it's just the first seeds?
Yes.
Across the board?
Yeah.
Ooh.
So that's EDG and Sentinels.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Well, look.
Nah,
this is,
kayaknya sih harusnya
it's gonna be a
acara
good one today.
official Valorant ya, official yang Asian VCT utamanya kayaknya.
All right.
I
Well,
wouldn't be surprised if the other teams won.
Yang kayak di Korea tuh mungkin ada kayaknya ya.
let's actually see where we're going to be playing at this series. Map selection's ready to go. Let's go ahead and listen in.
Jualin Lucy banget langsung. Itu di Indomaret depan rumah gue juga ada. Nggak usah jauh-jauh ke Valorant VCT anjing.
Higher seed coming into this, would you like Team A or Team B?
Team B.
Team B. So PRX, you'll be Team A, and we will start with your first band.
Ben Breeze.
Breeze, your band.
And Lutos.
Lotus, and
Ya,
map
Indomaret
number
ya.
1 from PRX.
Kalau mau beli UC aja harus ngerti Valorant anjing.
Sunset, side on sunset.
Sunset sama
Defense.
Defense, and map number 2.
kayak split deh.
Bind.
Bind, side on bind.
Harusnya PRX ngambil split deh.
And then next set of bands, starting with PRX, you have Ascent, Icebox, and Split.
Within Icebox.
Icebox, you have Ascent and Split.
And Ascent.
Then Ascent, so by default,
Oh,
map number 3 will be
bandnya saat-
Split, PRX, side on Split.
Sunsetnya PRX,
Attack, alright.
mereka udah main berkali-kali, kayak lebih pede deh.
I mean, I love what I'm seeing here. I love the fact that EDG has decided to go for that.
Ban ya.
PaperX does not
Tapi itu
see
dia.
any bullies have nothing to do. But I love the fact that they went
Oh nggak itu
and
EDG.
banned a map that they haven't played and that
Sunset
actually
sih kemarin menang terus ya, singkat gue ya, gue lupa deh.
Opener, I am so fucking hyped for. I'm sorry, I am excited.
Tapi yang Sunset kan kemarin yang meta pakai Sage kan mereka nggak pakai yang ada Cypher lawan dikacangin aja. Tim Kom Sunsetnya bagus sih kemarin.
And not only that, right after we have the bind, which is like the stellar pick for EDG.
Iya, yang kemarin mereka bawa Sage, nggak bawa Cypher. Gue lupa bawa siapa aja, tapi ingat gue nggak bawa Cypher deh. Bawa Sage sama siapa gitu.
And this is
Mereka mana dikit, iya baru satu turnamen kan.
Prediction, Rufus. I know you said you think EDG. What do you think?
I might swap my pred. I initially thought EDG, but I think I'm going to switch it to PaperX. Yeah, their Sunset's really good, and if it goes to Split as well, I wonder if they're just going to run the triple duelist or what. I don't know.
All right, folks.
Iya, splitnya triple duelist.
We have 2 incredible matches: PaperX versus EDG.
Serem sih anjir splitnya triple duelist.
Of Masters Madrid
Kayak
starts right now.
shaky banget. Finalnya 24 Maret.
Okay, here we go. Ready and action.
今天这次应该是
Hari Minggu
第4次遇到 PRX 了。
我觉得三顾茅庐，诸葛亮都出来了，第4次也差不多该赢了。
再输就丢脸了，得游回去了。
兄弟，输不了了，这次我敢输了，输不了。
I mean, we tend not to jinx ourselves, but I guess our target this tournament is not really about winning the whole thing. We don't really aim big. We go one by one, you know, like slowly but surely. That's always been our motto in the team.
少了一员大将，这是战胜他们的好时候。
Kan nggak ada jing.
我认为，如果我们真正
Stream dari YouTube, Twitch yang Pacific Tour nggak ada.
And I think it's good. I mean, I kind of
Atau belum mulai? Atau baru mulai?
We don't even have a lot of attention to ourselves, and yeah, gotta start from below again, and we slowly build up again, you know.
Ya kan nggak ada kan? Adanya VALORANT
人家
ID.
听到 ZM 勾 PK 在对面，他枪都要抖。
赢的是 PRX， 赢的不是镜。
赢了那个 logo 就行。
我觉得今天这个衣服就特别像在西海岸，在洛杉矶那个感觉。我现在就想起我买的那个花衬衫了。
在休息，超男从来不在乎温度。
Everybody thought we were going to do horrible, and then we dropped 0 maps to make it to Masters.
So my directorial vision for Masters Madrid is going to be beautiful, spectacular, 10 out of 10, beautiful plays, trophy lifting, just absolute cinema.
Malam banget anjir.
We did a lot of preparation for it.
Oh, cabut sih.
I think us being kind of underdogs helped us a lot. I feel like it was written in the stars for Heretics to make.
Coba tim Heretics gue nggak tahu loh isinya siapa aja. Itu bener-bener underdog banget ya sih.
Everything is gonna be perfect.
Heretics sama Carmine.
Performances, a masterpiece.
Kalau sampai 3 map kedua gue AFK bikin kopi deh. Oh iya, coba. Oh di sini. Beda dikit doang sih. Gue mah Gerat Woods ada iklan cuy. Kalau YouTube premium soalnya.
Two teams who are very familiar with one another, but each time they met, it was PRX who got the better of EDG, and now EDG stands a potential Goliath in a sea of monsters, and this could very well be their opportunity to shock the world.
2024 has given us a lot of surprises. Maybe it is time for EDG to bring another one onto the table. 4th time that they're facing up against each other. This has to be the one.
4 times.
Change and the recent performance
Iya, 4
from
kali ya.
EDG is the best moment to do it.
Wah, kayak PRX ketemu EDG mulu yang paling gue inget tuh yang pas di fracture si Jing nge-satchel dari jauh headshot 2 itu gila banget. PRX lawan EDG waktu di fracture itu gila, itu udah masuk ke core memory gue, gila.
Control of the tempo. I think that's one of the key win conditions when you're playing against a team like PRX, is making sure they can't just run away with just running you over with your defensive setups, making sure they can't, force you to just rushing into decisions. If you can take control of the tempo, kind of like what Gen G did against them in the kickoff finals, by making.
Gue nggak bisa loh pakai IM gitu. Suaranya kayak flat, atau karena gue pakai Razer Hammerhead, itu Razer kan, tapi masih flat buat gue. Apa emang semua IM suara gitu ya? Atau kurang mahal aja? Lo kalau ada suara tembakan, suara musik, itu nyatu semua.
please try to be on top of the
Tapi terakhir lawan EDG waktu EDG lagi underperform yang gara-gara banget main 5 turni dalam 2 minggu kok. Gue lupa itu yang mana. Pokoknya kalah terus aja EDG-nya.
EDG, Kong saying, you know, it's finally time for them to end this jinx that has kind of loomed over them this entire time. And yes, that is certainly going to be a case here, but my goodness, have, you know, the turntables, to quote Michael Scott, because we've seen some really wild things, you know, take place this season alone. And now we're seeing a weakened PRX here, but could very well catch all of us off guard.
Kan, Bosage, nggak pakai Cypher.
The same comps that they last ran on this map, and you know, PRX comp, it was so good the Sentinels ended up.
Oh, yang nggak ada duelist. Ya, gue baru ingat nggak ada duelist. Double unit, double controller. Ini Cypher-nya dikacangin nih kalau di ban nih. Iya, Sunset yang kemarin kan juga gitu. Sunset yang kemarin Cypher-nya pas lawan siapa itu ya? Gue lupa deh. Cypher-nya nggak ngapa-ngapain anjir, Cypher lawan dikacangin.
Yeah, I think I'm not a big fan of the Soba KO combination. I think that I'm leaning more towards the Gecko and the KO. I think that
ini tim kom yang kemarin.
a lot better. I'm very excited to see how they're going to be countering the time-ins on those walls.
Lawan Ararki kok nggak salah ya?
You know, exploiting
Ingat gue pas lawan Ararki deh.
of that very info gathering sentiment.
Well, folks, this is it. First match of the day. You got a banger on your hands here. EDG facing off against PRX. And who better to call the action than Mitch and Tom?
Dan iya yang di Pacific.
Thank you so much, Golden Boy, Kakuka, and Brent on the analyst desk. Tom, I'm ready to kick off this matchup. I'm so excited. The atmosphere in here was electric. It's going to get better as the days go on, but I don't know the games are going to get much better. This one is incredibly hype.
Yeah, and I think both teams having a sort of, I guess, a slightly shaky aspect to them.
Yeah.
Actually makes me think it's going to be more exciting because in the past, PRX have been in great form, even when they've been running with a stand-in. Now, well, they've lost their region again when I think everybody expected them to win it. And on the other side of things, EDG looked like they could bleed, which normally in China wasn't really the case. So I think we're going to have a brawl on our hands today, and we're kicking it off on Sunset.
Enak Twitch tuh gambarnya tajam. Gue streaming main game juga lebih tajam di Twitch anjir. Di YouTube ngeblur.
They're quickly taking control over this A site, and it looks like that control is going to be coming up. EDG content to play a retake.
Nggak bisa ditahan loh.
There's going to be a wall to break on the way through, but they are set up with their 5v5 as the spike goes down.
Tapi kayaknya udah di plan juga deh, soalnya nggak ada yang fight sama sekali, dikasih masuk gratis. Kan kayak literally 5 detik udah plan.
Yeah, a lot of stuff still to work with. That nade already going out to clear an angle. It's allowed them to focus towards the site. But Munyet does well to still grab one. The Paranoia a little deep. EDG already bypassed it, now catching multiple kills on nobody. It's left all down to Divai, emerging from the smoke. He's only good for
iya,
one.
Ini
that pistol
kebaca dah.
win goes to EDG.
Dikasih masuk soalnya.
The fact that they've sort of given up the site almost completely.
Bener-bener gak ada yang nahan loh, di choke point-nya gak ada yang nahan.
On the desk, and something mentioned in their own interviews is before they had that raw firepower. They came in as a team that, okay, yeah, Khan, he might be able to just frag out the server. Smoggy's going to pull off a ridiculous clutch, but they're not going to have those setups to get their way back in like this. And already a pretty clean start for them.
Yeah, a very clean start. Even from the get-go, they're playing retake on the site. They're letting PRX take the space, and then they're able to fight back through because they've kept their util. They played the game the right way this time around. For EDG, they get the reward. We can see that they're stacked up. In fact, one pistol is all they're going to be carrying through to keep it light. The rest of the squad investing very heavily. And PRX
a
lot of sheriffs, but for the most part, they haven't got a lot to brawl with. Open fights should favor their opponents unless the numbers advantage come through. And we are seeing the exact same strat from them, same run through. This time, we're not going to get a Sage wall down to block off, so it could be even easier for EDG to fight their way back through.
Also, EDG have even more utility because obviously they're the team at the back.
Something punya klasik cuy.
Still that paranoia, multiple flashes. Like,
kenapa gun body siren anjing? Gue nggak punya lo gun body siren.
Chichu just to get them the information. The only real danger is just aggression, but it's so messy.
Ya ampun, monyet.
Anything, and well, they have managed to at least find themselves a kill, but they need to get so much from this position, even dying to a blast back. And Divai, his late lurk may not be expected, but he needs to buy such a ridiculous amount of time, and it isn't going to be happening.
No, not quite close enough, although the spike does quicken its pace in ticking towards the end. It's still 2-0 for EDG. As we said, they only had the one pistol on Kankan, which does mean that there's going to be some small dent to their economy, but ultimately nothing that you really need to fret about. On the PRX side, I'm curious to see where they come out of this one with, because they're going to have all the money to work with, all the credits, full utility. This is their way back in.
Yeah, this is where expectations become a little bit different. Now, one good thing is that nobody has done an incredible job already to get that Hunter's Fury online, so potential for some proactive takes. Already they are setting up for a little bit of aggression in towards B main. You can see the knife's been thrown through, but that's all just a bait. This is an attempt to try and hold rotations in onto that B site, and that is exactly what it's done.
Yeah, again though, from EDG's perspective, this is very similar to what
B-nya
they've been
didiemin lagi
doing,
tuh.
just fully stacking up towards
Tapi pada
one part of
Cypher
the
di sini
map, gambling that if they take A, they'll play the retake. Obviously, they've got some very well-drilled retakes lined up for us, and I think here's where we're going to get to see, you know,
The fuck is that, bro?
This is nasty from Munyet.
Bro.
Expecting to see something from EDG, but they might not have much of
The
a chance.
fuck?
If they expect this
Dapat
one, I
kah?
will be flabbergasted. A free kill for sure, maybe even a second now. They know his tricks.
Anjir.
It's time to fade down.
Apaan itu anjing?
Look for that every single round. In the meantime, though, the rest of the team has started to get a bit more aggressive. Divide up close already doubles up their advantage, not allowing this retake to even really begin. Leaving just a couple remaining, and while the potential of flawless might be gone, but it is damn clean from the side of
Oh, udah banyak ya. Ada di ranked banyak yang kayak gitu tuh. Ada. Pusing dah gua.
Now something for them to worry about.
Pusing
as
dah
they're
gua.
playing retake A, wanting to rotate quickly down that avenue, and now they've got to be worried about a player
Wah,
being
apa
on top.
anjing
In fact,
itu?
even as we go into this replay, this same position that Munyet's in is being pinged like crazy by the side of EDG. They're telling each other, this is where he is. He's going to be there. Watch out on the rotates. So everyone knows they pulled the trick out of their sleeve. I don't think they'll get away with that again.
I'm really surprised they do it in the bonus round.
Yes,
Like,
right, of all
you
rounds.
kind of think that maybe that's something you say for a bite, but it is just that almost ridiculous confidence of PRX. And let's be real, if that's the only cool thing we see from PRX,
Itu kameranya kelihatan.
Yeah, I'm surprised, shocked, and disappointed, just like yourself. For EDG, on this defensive side, bit of a change-up. This time, not wanting to play the retake on A. They got a bit aggressive, haven't seen anyone, and in fact, Thrash is coming in on the exact other side of the map. As we can see, oh, I like this idea to try and punish. Actually caught one tag onto something, but that's all they're going to get for it. With the res in, they might want to get aggressive, but Munyet being up close, he couldn't decide on his weapon. He'll only get the one, but at least he got the one.
Yeah, they've still kept it even at
Ya
least.
di
It's
luar
not the
pasang mulu.
worst scenario. It looked like it could have gone a lot worse than already.
Biar apa itu flash?
Has been able to find another. Kankan looking to try and wrap back in, but the timing couldn't be any worse. And now Smoggy is all that remains. 1 versus 2. I don't even think he has the ability to really clear out this player on the corner, just trying to check, but this Sage wall just being irritating, and that's enough for him to have to back out of the round.
Yeah, at an eye test, you know, you probably can't jump that, but I don't blame him for trying. Maybe he could get the element of surprise if physics was going his way. Unlucky for PRX. They found themselves around, and you know, on EDG, burning up the Hunter's Fury, they commit quite a bit. Their economy's quite low as well. This is not an ideal start, as it looks like PRX might be able to get away with a little lead now.
Yeah, and something just to mention, obviously we have seen both these
Nice.
play
Bagus.
already. A very close game
Dua buying
for the
round
side of
menang.
EDG, so I'm not overly surprised that we've seen this pick actually come out from PRX. And also, the one time they played it in Pacific against Gen G, they had a 10-2 defense. So that's something you have to be wary of, is they have already shown that they're going to be problematic with aggressive takes. I think something's utilities, you're really going to have to watch out for that, because I feel like Gecko thrives when it comes to this map.
Pukulnya A lagi dong.
And for now, at least, okay, a couple of hero weapons. Smoggy still having that rifle. Guardian invested into the Kankan as well. But how much can they really do in this round?
Setup B.
PRX
Three-pointer nggak keluar lah.
even showing their presence
Oh,
towards
dia
the
saving
A
ya?
side. I think knowing like
Cuma naruh
in
cam
most
di
of
B.
these fights you're taking, you have a heavy advantage in terms of weaponry. And the one thing EDG can do is group up. So they don't throw the flash early, they sneak up on A, they play it slow. But EDG have rotated in. Just look at that mini-map. 4 players very close by, Can on the way, and they've made the right read. The info denial as well. They know there's one player towards spawn on the side of PRX. That's not enough to really make a
Penasaran gue
move.
tuh line up kemana tuh.
Disgusting. He's making a lot of dangerous plays, but in this round, that might not have been the right call.
No, if they can get the rifle back especially, that would be an extra pain that they have to deal with. Also, every player being revealed, no hidden lurks can really be happening. Paranoia is good, but nobody's actually able to capitalize off it. Counter flash is just a little bit too late. They are being picked apart. Just a couple remaining. Mindfreak has been able to bring back the deficit a little bit. Another, as he's just popping head after head, but it gets a little bit shaky. Leaves it onto something in the 1 versus 1, and they'll be able to hold on in that 2 versus 4. It was a little bit too quick for comfort.
Just a little bit. I mean, he definitely had time. Just one sheriff shot away from disaster. As I said, coming out of last round, you think that PRX have everything set up to claim a decent injection of rounds, find that one, be in an economically advantageous position, which, don't get me wrong, you still have a player like something with 7 But my God, it's the reason I have this guy's jersey at home. Should have brought it.
Yeah, that was clean. And taking out the showstopper as well, I feel like that would have been something dead for sure if he doesn't even just get it a split second earlier. So a round saved for PRX, but probably not something that...
Waduh.
Wow. The best part is he was already on the wrong side of the trap. Didn't go deep enough. Devi, good for 1. That's it, though. Shut down. And this round has crumbled pretty quickly if you're PRX. I mean, they might have shut down a showstopper in the last round, but, well, it looks like Can will be dropped again. Something tagged. Low HP on Mindfreak. And they know where both of these players are. EDG have all the info to play with. It seems to be a formality at this point, unless something has an incredible 3K up his sleeve.
Yeah, that was one of the most audacious changes in pace I think I've seen in a long time, because think about how PRX has been playing so far. It's been slow defaults, normally ending up on the A site. This round, he just tries to TP into mid. And the thing is, EDG have been playing a lot around that mid area for the fast rotations for retakes. So it's interesting that he thought there was a gap there. I'm not sure what piece of information they had that they believed that was going to be clear enough for him to take such a risk, but it hasn't worked out. Something still ever dangerous, even when not playing on that jet. Let's see if he can make this one at least a little bit costly. He's looking for the fight. He knows that planting at this stage, allowing them to retake together, won't quite work out. And while Smoggy is patient as he hunts down something in the end.
Yeah, again, the right call to try and thin the herd a little bit, but this is a head scratcher of a play. I mean, the sound the kill is easy to claim. With the smoke close, I guess the idea is, even just thinking to the round before, if I'm not mistaken, we had 3A, 2B. That was a gap in the previous round. It wasn't this time, so an unlucky gamble. As we end up 3-3, quick check-in with the economy sees that we've got enough money for everybody to buy. Utility's going to be pretty healthy, and something has got an operator.
Hey, he's stealing this one.
Belum kebeli OP-nya, masih nabung dulu.
Gecko op. That was something we saw back on Bind not too long ago. For now, though, back to the slower style default, maybe expecting a little bit of aggression.
Buset, something OP anjing.
Post plant, I really don't mind the operator. Just allow him to sit on an angle and try and shut things down. And Mindfreak again, he's had a decent amount of success in some of these early fights. For now, though, EDG doing well just to try and slow the pace a little bit, using their smokes. And again, you can see it's basically a retake setup over on that A site again, just with a little bit of extra info off the trip.
Yeah, the fake, or the attempt to sell a fake on the B site is decent, especially when you've got a Viper's Pit online. They can't afford to give this ground up and play behind the wall. And as they play in front of the util on A, price is paid. Smoggy down. And a null command used for PRX as they claim control of this site, presumably unchecked. Remember, also a Viper's Pit for post plant, and this op is still lurking around. There's a lot of red flags flying for EDG.
He might find space, though. They don't even realize he's here because he was already past the angle initially.
Lewat dari samping soalnya.
Finds a slight gap.
Gak expect.
Already, though, Thrash thrown out will give an awful lot of information. They're going to spot at least one player in that back line, and look at Devi. Slowly on the wraparound, he's following it, but the shots might have just given his position away. The operator going to hold the gap in a wall. You'd expect something to hit this shot all day long.
Bahaya sih.
3 kills already to his name. Little bro going to be sent out just to try and claim some extra space, but for now, still a lot that EDG need to do, and not a lot of time to play with. Kankan, the last man standing, the same fate as the rest.
Well, I expected something to do.
Anjing Gecko OP attacker.
On the op, but I wasn't really seeing that coming.
Write that one down.
Yeah, actually, I'm trademarking that one. But EDG calling a pause after that, and then you can understand why. This is just one man finding all the space in the world, despite some decent plays for them to try and break their way back through. I think the from Ducky played a big role as well. The fact that he follows up on the thrash, takes the angle, fires a few shots, and he just runs away. Just lets them know, I'm behind you, by the way. And now they've got to worry about that. It slows them down. It gives time for the op to position. The shots are there every time.
So you can't see at the moment because there's a timeout. But I'm looking at Kankan with a glass cannon operator. Now it would be a little bit of a bold call to try and have that
baru match 1 anjir gue udah ngantuk.
On the defense, but I'd love to see him go toe-to-toe with something, because we are talking about two of the best operator players in the world. I think Kankan has been someone that has consistently been mentioned with this gun. Unfortunately for them, finances are not amazing. They would have to take a risk. That's the thing. It's whether they want to try and bridge the gap of him being who he is.
See, this is the thing, though. This round just might not be the one for it. Just because you don't have any teammates that have a rifle. They don't have anything to back you up. So unless it's even a gamble on the defense, because you're going to sit on B with that op. If they go A, like they have, what are you going to do? I don't mind it. Because if you lose it, the cost is just too high to pay. Instead,
you won't, because it's Kankan.
Well, that's the theory, right? But he's 5 and 7. So he's got a Guardian. He's got a Stinger, a Guardian. He's not sure yet, and he's sticking on the Guardian. Okay, so a decent rifle to fight with, some range potential, and nothing but Sheriffs to back him up. It's not a round I expect EDG to win in, but it is one that carries a lot of danger on the side of PRX, because we've seen before how strong EDG were on a retake with weaker weapons.
Again, they switched up. There's been so much presence on that A side that they gambled
gila,
in that
setupnya bagus banget.
PRX, they've had solid reads
Lempar
so
util ke corner kiri, ke tangga, wall, pasang.
In almost every single round, but an afterplant, even a Viper's Pit expended here. You mentioned that some of these rounds got close.
Udah ngecek semua itu, kecuali sebelah kanan ya, tapi di wall.
Yeah, with Ducky finding a kill, popping a heal on his teammate as well. Everyone's sitting pretty, and there's still some util to play with. Going through that Viper's Pit, being on low HP with the Sheriff is the only thing worse than having to take that fight out in the open when there's this many rifles on the other side. They're trying to play the RNG, but the wall is helping, blocking, absorbing some of those shots, even though there's a gap in it that EDG are now going to use as they make their way through. There's a TP out of Aldon, and a third kill! A real chance for EDG to fight back in this round. It's something left. Low HP on Smoggy with the decay. And it's an op to work with for something. Now the heals come through. The op needs to land its shot. The time already running. Can something even save the rifle at this point? He's got to run fast, and looks like he'll just about...
Ini sih bahaya sih. 2 kali lo Iko diginiin. Menang sih, tapi mahal banget.
I don't know how Dong managed to do as much as he did, pushing into a Viper's Pit, finding a gap, and getting 3 kills
kill
off the back of it. Again, that's another low buy round for EDG. Okay, well that one, yeah, fair enough.
And then he paranoias into a shrouded step like that. 2 very quick
itu
shots.
make up play banget.
You know, essentially near-sighted. Not bad at all.
Yeah. The thing is, though, it's
tukang cebokin PRX-nya lebih jago masalahnya.
They have done that a couple of times where they've made things a little bit more costly. Either way, though,
iya anjir 3 kill.
this slow push towards the B side.
Anjing something teriak-teriak anjing.
Coming out from the side of PRX, they have managed to sort of play with their opponents. Bear in mind, they've only seen Mind Freak. Now they'll have the information and can finally start getting that rotation in. Kankan is going to be nowhere near
Come on,
the action.
Lil Bro.
Little Bro is going to be making sure that plant is in. I don't think they're going to be able to deny. Oh, no, they have. Okay, that's something that will at least buy a bit of time.
Yeah, no operator to play with for PRX after losing it last round. EDG on the retake. Kankan's going to be a big factor for them. If they can open up some of these sight lines, have to get past the Viper wall, the util down from Omen, and they're actually passing it on the PRX side, running it down. Taking fight after fight with nothing but success. And we talked about this operator. Well, it's now all that's left.
Mending lu save sih kata gua sih. Mending save sih. Wah, dihunting dah. Dikejar anjir ini mah. Pukulin bego katanya knife. Gila. Gak dikasih coy.
Unlucky for Kankan.
Diobok-obok.
He's on the wrong side, and by the time he gets to the right side, there's no one left to help him.
Di geng bang anjing.
Just these early round pushes. Like, note that this is different to
ya, saving lagi tuh. EDG. Ini kalau ame PRX kalah sih keterlaluan ya. Nggak tahu sih attackingnya ya. Attackingnya EDG.
Well, this is the lurk again. This is the guy on the other side of the map. We're not going to pull any rotations. And then the full execute comes in. And by that point, you have just too much control available for PRX. They are doing a great job in these sort of mid-round calls, switching things up each time. And thus far, EDG haven't really been able to catch the smoke of PRX.
Ngelip nih. Masa nggak kecek?
For the PRX side, if EDG found
mau kemana? Ayo.
nobody's knocking out here. Not a chance.
Anjing, Forsaken sampai 1 HP.
Win around with a 4K and close out around in that 1v1.
Berapa kali anjing dia ulti?
Rounds go their way by a narrow margin. This one though, it's been widened up a bit. Mind Freak on the flank, beautiful play and good connection from Munyet. Weaker weapons for EDG and now barely any of them left standing. One of the main ones being Haodong, who it looks like Mind Freak has some spidey senses tingling because he knew he was on his way back through.
They picked them apart again. This time the low buy not looking likely and
jadi nggak kecek.
Smoggy again. Just trying to catch Smoke. He doesn't even realize where his opponent's gone. Just trying to catch them and will finally meet his opponent of Mind Freak. It took it long enough to get there. It won't matter.
Aman.
7-3. PRX after the first couple of rounds have been nigh on dominant. And for a team that, as I said, we watched them kind of get battered when it came to the game versus Gen G. They've come into this, I think this morning saying, we're at a 6 out of 10. I'm sure EDG don't feel that way.
Yeah, and even if we can argue that EDG have had some closer rounds, some opportunities to pull it off, it doesn't matter. When you're facing down the barrel of a 7-3 scoreline, it's time to show up here and now. Now, a big round for EDG, not just in their buy, in their credits, but also in their ult orbs. They've got a lot online to work with. This has to be their safety net.
Well, this time, nobody is going to be battling once more for that B control. You can see an immediate rotation from EDG. Just being able to get that little bit of control is enough for them to try and just pull rotations. The retakes over the last few rounds just haven't been working. They need to try and get some of those early fights in, and they'll win one. Khan's removed Mind Freak. He has been the biggest thorn in their side thus far.
I like this position from Smoggy. Good shots last round. The nade is down, but they're a little disjointed. The 1v1 taken against Haodong doesn't go well. For EDG, no smokes left to play with. No, from the shadows. And Mind Freak's right back into the fight.
Wah, nice, ke-cancel. Nice! Dipukul mampus lu 1v1.
From Mind Freak, it was dropped moments earlier. This is a disaster for EDG. They're losing players, but nobody. He doesn't want to lose this round. Holding strong, and the fight from Smoggy's good. It's only Munyet left. He's made it to A. He'll find a plan.
Dua-duanya low banget lagi.
These last two players are.
Oh, satu. Si Forsaken ulti.
Won't be able to join him.
Nah, Monyet dari kemarin dikasih momen kayak gini mulu anjir. Lihat, apakah Monyet bisa membuat fans PRX terkesan? Dia udah berapa kali? 3 atau 4 kali kan dikasih clutch round, yang menang cuma 1 ya?
Not quite look in the right direction if a wraparound comes in, but actually both players meeting back up. The time starting to tick down. They really need to get a move on. Paranoia through, TP'd now to get into a much stronger after plan. Munyet though getting tagged further and further. They need to get someone on this, and he's just buying that time ever further. I think this one's going to be desperately close. In fact, I don't think he might have this at all. I think it's going to go off. It's going to be the clutch again, and they just can't find themselves around.
Nice. Okay, boleh.
Like we say, no matter how tight that margin is, PRX steam further into the lead, and with a red from a player who was low, who missed the first couple swings. He couldn't land the headshot. It looked like they had it, but in the end,
bacanya Monyet, Wes. Monyet.
0.93 of a second.
But that's the thing, they
Bisa aja nih Ihsan lupin-lipin.
I love the reposition from Munyet. He realizes in that corner, decent chance to get overwhelmed, someone can get on the defuse. Instead, he just looks to take those fights, and nobody again. This time, Mind Freak is waiting. These battles have not been going their way, and something roaming with that operator.
Timing.
To clear. And while the Paranoia will catch him, but no chance for a trade.
It's not even an ability that gets him out of there. It's literally just the straight up
Dia bokobok sih sunsetnya.
Now Kan's gone through mid. There's a lurk waiting around here.
Aduh.
It's waiting for the
Ron, kanan Ron.
mid push. They weren't expecting this. The timing a little off, and the shots didn't
Aman.
land initially. But Munyet's recovered it nicely. Mind Freak down, big player for the side of PRX. He's been going huge in a lot of these rounds. Now they have to close it out without him, but it's a 4v2. It's only Chicho and Haodong.
Something OP mulu anjing.
Still in the same spot.
Gecko stacking OP anjir. Yang kerja wingman-nya. Dianya nge-scope. Aduh.
Left out on his own. He's had a couple of amazing moments so far, but this swing has to be the best of them. Of Munyet, no respect, straight through, leaves it all to one. It is dominant.
Lil bro, plan Lil bro terus di OP.
Coming in onto Sunset doesn't get much better than that.
No, it really doesn't. I like the idea as well to knife close. They suspect he's there, swing it with a shorty, and even grab the headshot kill for their trouble. PRX just looking so clean. This is just a matter of timing. The paranoia doesn't come out. I think the idea was to play off the contact, but they just didn't expect it to be an op. Like a rifle will take an extra half second to get that kill, and it's easy peasy. You're going to at least trade. This time, EDG, they have to trade out a lot of rounds in their favor. 9-3 down at the half, and Tom, we don't expect this to be much better. Let's see what the desk thinks.
Thank you very much, guys. Yeah, I've pulled the telestrator here for one of the rounds in particular, which is round number 3, the bonus round. And this one was particularly interesting as well. Just the overall game plan going a bit amiss here. With this PRX comp, what you want to do is you want to bleed the utility out as much as possible. And they were just giving the A side entirely for free most of the time.
PCT Europe,
not being forced to use many of their util
kalau ada
tools,
analitik kayak gini ya,
flashes really at all.
Keren banget.
Benefit of the Gecko is that you can pick up the flashes as well. Once you use them, you can pick up forms of the util. But it was going amiss here for EDG. And when you give up this much space, it's one of the worst things you can do because you set up PRX to do things like this. I mean, they get quirky with the walls. They set up the sage wall up here onto this high ground angle. And they're really making sure that their game plan is to try and fight for this area as well of the map. These areas as well as backside control, making sure they're getting really proactive in those moments. And it just completely dismantles EDG. I'll speed it up as well, so you can see. It takes out the players here. They're flash re-clearing, making sure they set Devi up into the deep positions. And it's the major strength of this comp. I mean, being able to fight and really take space proactively. And for EDG, you were seeing it go missing. I mean, what they should have been doing is fighting, I think, for extremity control, trying to at least get it, rather than giving up the sites entirely for the retake, because you can't do that against this comp. If you give PRX the space to set up, they're going to use that util to push you even deeper when you're trying to set up for your retakes. We're going to go to the other side of the map now, and PRX might be even better on their defense side. They are so damn well drilled with their executes and their retake protocols with all of that utility. EDG cannot make the same mistake again, and so I'll send it over to Mitch and Tom.
Wallnya biasanya dipakai buat nutup B-man atau nggak market.
Thank you so much, Brian. Yes,
udah, terus tinggal kalau nutup B-man jaga mid sama jaga A. Kalau nutup market jaga B-man sama A.
This defense for PRX, it's not exactly a weakness that EDG can hope to lean on, is it?
No, well, we've seen them play it once within the regular season,
satu choke point anjir biasanya.
Absolutely battered Gen.G, who obviously ended up winning the series, so not a great sign. But now they can look to set up Kankan, a player that we already know can ruin any story set up.
Kangkang pakai skin fanatik. EDG nggak ada ya skinnya ya? Valorant China nggak dapet ya? Valorant kapsul. Yang dapat yang franchise doang.
Even though EDG is strong on that map, I'd never want to play PRX on Bind.
It's a scary battlefield take on this squad, and for EDG, a slow approach, much different than what we saw from PRX, who leaned heavily on finding open space on the A site, which they did so often. This time PRX are leaving A open, looking more so to fight into middle, and that's exactly where they're going to find that scrap already. Good stuff as the heal comes through. That initial fight almost negated if Forsaken hadn't fallen, and if Haodong did...
Given an opportunity to take down, it's not going to get any easier. Now the A site is open for business, but I feel like someone almost needs to be left behind to try and catch someone on the rotation, because if you allow PRX to retake, I don't like those odds, and well, nobody is at least going to be able to find one before trying to back away.
Oh no! Oh, wow.
Anjir, bisa gitu.
So this is a big change, because you know, PRX obviously happy to play retake on A from the start of the round in a 5v5. In a 5v4 without Konkon, even better. But now the numbers have changed hands a little bit. The advantage no longer sits towards PRX, and there's 2 players on the B site still, with a lurk from nobody, active in mid. This has to be huge for Devi, and he won't get anything. These last two players even splitting up. Oh, this could be dangerous. They don't check the close right corner,
Ini
which
terkumbak kah?
you wouldn't really think to check this late on in the game. Well, the punishment
Buset.
firmly. Nobody. Massive round. He's had some big rounds like this before, but we can't rely on that every single time, Tom. 11-5.
Oh, that was huge from him. Just taking some of that space back into mid, being able to fight the player in market, and then win a duel of, I think it was 2 players peeking him from top mid. That really shouldn't have gone their way. And he's pulled out a hero play that has given them at least a little bit of an opportunity. Alex is going to take a moment to try and talk things through with the team, because that's the thing. Even EDG just getting themselves a little bit pumped up. We have seen this team pull off miracles in the VCT before. So they want to stop this before it gets any legs whatsoever.
Yeah, it's definitely time to pump those brakes, take a second look at how these coming rounds are going to go. Because remember, the first one, it's not looking great for
Kok dari tadi gue ngeliat banyak muka orang-orang dari China ya?
Even in this round,
Fans EDG pada datang ke Madrid ya? Gila, pada berduit semua. Buset.
They better make sure that Arsenal isn't disbanded for no reason. They gotta be using it, presumably.
Muka orang Cina semua cuy. Gue kayak dari tadi jarang banget ngeliat ada muka orang Eropa.
I'm looking to see how much they actually invest into this round, because at least right now, I'm looking at something having an operator. And again, he is someone who could definitely pull off miracles. He was fantastic with it even on the attack.
There's no way. There's just no way. Like, if you
Second bot track dong.
There's just no way. I mean, he has a Thrash for next round. Maybe he buys it now, runs a weaker weapon, and then just decides to use Thrash next round. He'll be back contact. He's gonna do it. He's crazy. On defensive side as well, it's a risk. Maybe he can save it if things go wrong, but really the hope here, the gamble, is that he's able to find some serious value. And as we can see, well, EDG were backing off, and it looks like they won't be coming near beam. Oh, never mind. The danger zone has been entered by Chichu. He's going to go for a pick.
He's pushed so far up, but both have gone down immediately.
That's it.
That was the thing. Either you had to get value with the operator or save it.
Masa iya
This is the
comeback?
worst of both worlds, as he's gone down with the operator. They know exactly where the players are rotating to as well.
Masa iya di comeback? Nggak mungkin dong.
I think EDG have been so calm in just going for these rotations, claiming space elsewhere, and Kankan now already going to be stopping any chance of rotation. He's even going to shut the door on them. Now, what that might mean is, unless it's been thrown away, they might actually be able to save the operator.
It's actually a very nice recovery, I suppose. They carry this weapon through to the next round, and I have nothing negative to say about it. It is just the risk that they run of it being dropped.
Mereka disiplin banget loh. Udah menang aja berlima masih nempel anjir.
If EDG decided to take B, then you're not getting it back. It's
Bener nempel terus berlima.
Bulldog and an op carried through to the
Saving
next
sih.
round. This is the idea. Like I said, Divine needed 1 kill. He didn't get it, but he's dead now. So he's got a res to work with.
Iya anjir, gara-gara PC gua nggak keras mereka jadi choke. Nih kena curse bego.
So realistically, they have a lot to work with.
You never know, maybe he'll get a kill with the operator. I don't think he's in the right place at the
No,
right
he's a little
time.
far away.
Nih deh, huntingnya aja berlima nempel gila.
But no one's getting to his neck of the woods anytime soon. Mind Freak, oh, you're in danger.
They put the paranoia through, but I don't think anybody's really pushing too far on it. Mind Freak will already get one. It's how much more can he make? Mind Freak is just hitting every single shot, and okay, he loses the gun.
Dijemput 3 orang cuy.
Credits will put him in a spot where he can buy a rifle for the next round anyway. So.
Boleh tuh.
They're throwing, because why wouldn't they just go for it? When you've got Mind Freak on your team, 2v5, just go for it, just go for it. Look at this guy. It's unbelievable.
Gila cuy.
Get that one in a replay. Oh, yes.
Aaron ditendang anjir. Molly-nya ditendang anjir.
That's so cool.
Just body block it.
Yeah, just block it, duh. Come on. Take the kills.
11-6. The thing is, though, the economy doesn't really matter so much for EDG. They've built up a lot of extra cash. Howdong even with 8,000 credits post-buy. And if they lose 2 rounds, they're done anyway. So ultimately, it was worth trying to remove that extra weaponry, something worth the operator. As you said, the ults have come online. You have to think that sooner rather than later, PRX are going to eventually get this one over the line. But for EDG, they are now starting to build into this.
Kurang gue udah bener banget deh pikiran tulisan Jepangnya nih keren. Kayak clean gitu. Kayak LED putih terus tulisan Jepang keren.
Trying to gradually take space. They're not really giving any information over onto the PRX side, and well, one of the players who could find it is just sat with his operator in hand.
Itu ngantuk, Udah 2 map aja lah. Tapi PRX menang maksudnya ya. Kan 2 map kelar gue tidur.
EDG are not looking to take any risks towards that side of the map. Instead, it's the B site that they're currently targeting. Now, there's some utility being expanded to run that clock down 40 seconds, as we're going to see, oh, even a deep flash thrown through. They're really trying to stop this squad. I guess send them back to A, or at least make it so that they have to blitz in, and with the showstopper, that's not really a problem for them. Risky. Okay, it's ended up fired at a corpse, and a nade. Oh, Con doesn't stand a chance. Now Divide can do some serious work. A res online. We mentioned that earlier. They'll try to retake the body on the side of EDG, pushing
Battle
forward,
Royale,
taking every single kill. And with something only now making it to the B site, now it's time to save. It's time to save, Tom, isn't it?
It's time to save, isn't it?
I don't think he's going to go for this, but you never really know. He's just looking to escape back out of there. Now, it's interesting because, again, you see the knife coming through from Forsaken. That's why they start just blitzing their utility, and they knew that they were coming in that direction, but the showstopper taking the space, and then just solid trade work from EDG. It also seems like every time we've had an operator for the defensive side, it has not been in the right place. Both teams have managed to avoid the superstar operator player for the other side, and now I'm just looking at Howdong. A might be about to clear this gun for free, but he's got spidey senses. I don't know why he turned around, but it doesn't matter.
Nggak diambil dong?
Howdong's going to get the kill anyway.
Lah.
Another round building credits.
Sangkang lu nggak butuh OP ya?
A 4-round streak on this attack.
Kalau di OP nggak ada yang entry sih emang.
This is starting to look possible.
Yeah, you know, a large part of why I started to lose hope is just the promise of PRX on the defensive side, but
wah, di comeback gini cuy.
EDG
Wah, udah. Locked up bego, Alex udah marah.
Sure, the ult economy is swinging towards PRX for now, and that is kind of all they need, right? Just a couple trickle-down rounds, and they're good to go on map number 2. But from what started out as a very dominant-feeling map, a couple of close rounds for EDG that could have swung it a little bit more in their favor, but it just seemed like we were going to leave this with the idea that, oh, EDG need to wake up for map 2. It looks like they've woken up for half 2 at least. Yeah. This is a good sign.
Oh, it's a great sign as well with different players like Howdong, Nobody, all starting to step up to the plate. And this round, we do have investment again from PRX. It's not everything they've got. They will still have a buy for the next round, but they've got a few Bulldogs to play with. The ult's still available, and the drone, again, I think EDG are doing a fantastic job of either using Kankan or Nobody to just sell a ruse. They start throwing utility, be it a boom bot, be it a drone, and just get them to stick around in that position. Even catching him with the knife, okay, maybe that wasn't intentional. But you can look at the other side of the map. The only player there is going to be Monya, and they're going to get the information finally that they're not around this position anymore. But they haven't cleared Nobody, and he has been a nuisance in the past.
It's such a good spot, but that's at just the wrong time.
If
he stuck around a little longer, maybe he could sneak his way through. The snake in the grass has been found for PRX.
Wah, berempat nih. Ayo teman-teman, kita bersatu.
One is a res in terms of ultimates. Viper's Pit online. If Mindfreak finds 1 kill, this could get very dangerous for EDG. Flashes, a lot of them come in Chichu's way, but the players take a minute. Howdong's on the corner with them. They're doing well. EDG are holding their ground. And it's only Munyet left to try to pull this back, swinging into Smuggy. Was that one hell of a round? 11-8.
Kok swingnya nanggung-nanggung gitu ya?
3 rounds behind on a map that not long ago was looking lost.
Yeah, they lost the pistol, and we thought this was over.
Alex udah marah-marah nih.
11-3 down, and again, PRX are going to have to take their second pause. And you're right, like you see the flashes come through. I think there might have been a couple of players blinded either by their own util or by a counter flash on the other side. I think it was. I think it came out from Smoggy, just buying enough time. And then just having that firing squad. Nobody coming in from a different direction. And, oh, they've managed to hold the line versus what was still a decent investment coming through. And a couple of ultimates used up for PRX. It's not like they now have that 5-stack anymore to just try and get them to OT. They do still have a few to play with, though.
Yeah, and I guess the Viper's Pit mainly for Mindfreak, having this online coming into the next round where they're still going to have a decent economy, they're going to have full util to work with. We've seen often that they're able to get some space back towards the site, albeit on A here, there was a serious shutdown from EDG. And it's even more impressive when you consider the fact that you have a Gecko flash go up and over, catch so many players. You also had a KO flash come around the corner, catch a couple of players.
Wah, tinggal 2 round lagi ya, nggak bisa ditutup aja.
Retake around that corner. I think for PaperX, that's something that we'll see remedied, but they need to find the solution very quickly, because this was a game that we were already thinking about buying. Once that 14th round fell into PaperX's hands, and since then they've had absolutely nothing. Just 2 needed to close this out. 2 buy rounds as well. EDG ain't going to be playing an eco anytime soon. That's for sure.
No, they have saved up plenty of cash. Viper's Pit immediately onto the B site. Now, as said, it's been a great job from EDG with the push and pull. They've been selling fakes with different players in different rounds, leaving different lurks.
Berarti defending belum menang sama sekali ya?
Awkward for the side of
3,
PaperX.
oh udah 2 kali ya?
Down B main, unless they're going to go through the Viper's Pit and try and fight Mindfreak, they have to try a different avenue. Now, it does look like there's potential that they're going to try and push mid a little bit more, knowing that there can't be as much of a heavy investment in this round, and the door being closed actually somewhat gives them that space. You can see Forsaken has already repositioned to try and watch towards the smoke, but instead, again, they're just slowly taking control across the map.
I do like EDG's approach. I like Devise as well. The wall is great for control, but he's got an angle up above it. Haodong didn't even realize he was shot at just there. The silencer, I guess, really working for him. It doesn't look like there'll be any punish. Did see the players move up towards mid, though, so the rotate's already underway from Dubai. Forsaken is locking it down. Double flash through. Paranoia is good.
Nice.
And Munyet's able to follow up now. Positioned a little
Nice.
closer. As Dubai
Let's
gets
go.
there. He's not even needed. Chichu, the last man alive, and he's got a 1
Iya, ini dia. Mari kita tutup. Mari kita tutup.
And
They
it's the
finally
last kill.
found the round.
it's almost the kill that mattered the least.
Lu gaji udah mahal masih bot frag ya anjing ya katanya ya.
Another scenario where PaperX have done well to
Tembak yang bener bego.
set something up to have space initially. We've got the Viper's Pit on the other side. We have faith in Mindfreak. Where else can they go? Mid. And that's where they have that 1-2 punch of Forsaken and Munya. The double flashes, as you mentioned at the time, just basically making it so that it created some awkward, disjointed fights. Can't come way out in front of everybody else. And PaperX do well to just trade things in the end. Leaving EDG now, after what was a 5-round streak, some real hope of them turning this map around. They need another 4 in a row to take this to overtime. And for them, they're going to give the coach another opportunity to try and switch things up, try and almost give them just that little bit of extra confidence. Because that's the thing, I think this has been the first round where they haven't been able to do their sort of like A main, B main fakes
Gila,
because
fans EDG.
Pit shut it down. Now that's not
Dari
going to
tadi
be
yang disorot fans EDG semua.
they still have a very good opportunity to turn this
Fans
back.
Prek nggak punya duit apa ya?
Well, 4 opportunities for PaperX. 4 very stressful rounds ahead for EDG. This is where things get a little bit more real. You know, we talk a lot about those comebacks and how difficult it can be in general. If you lose a map 13-4, you know, it can suck. You feel like you were shut out. But you can go into the next map and say, guys, we didn't even play that, you know?
Yeah.
No one was awake. It's fine. We got the next one. When you make that comeback, when you spend all this time fighting your way back in, and then the door's closed on your face just as you get there, it really, really sucks. But hey, EDG have been there before as well. They know how to battle back from those mental positions. That won't be a real challenge now. Slow through and a deep orb. This is PaperX telling EDG, we're going to fight for this control over B main this round.
Yeah, I think it was an adaptation that was needed.
Kasih dong.
Just allowing them to have a lot of this control to late execute has definitely been causing issues. Something. I think he's just jump peeking deep A. Like, his positioning has been able to give them a lot of control, but they are going to look to try and force him back. The drone again being utilized just to try and clear this position. Something just has no fear though. He's ready for someone to try and take that risk, but it has pulled a player further forward. The problem though is that this B main stack up is still here.
B mainnya nggak dilepas dong.
Yeah, the second player's not expected. Of course, it's Mindfreak. Although the poisons might be off, he's still got his rifle ready to fight. And Kankan with another death on the board. He's struggled in this series, but Mindfreak.
Nah, itu dia, itu. Ngapain Cicu, Mau apa cu? Nah, gini aja kok lama anjing.
That is the first map for PRX and a very promising start to this series. Forsaken said they were a 6
Ngecoknya masalahnya panjang banget anjir. Ngecoknya 8 round.
Yeah, they've got their first map on the board in a matchup that I think many believe to be competitive.
Nice.
About the form that this team was coming in on. It's safe to say in the first half, there were no worries at all. Utterly dominant, and it just took a little bit of time to get it over the line. I'm excited for the next map, though. Either way, Mitch, we're going to be heading off to the break, and we'll be back with map number 2 afterwards.
Aku nih Bind. Kemarin gue cuma ngeliat Bindnya EDG pas lawan.
Exactly what they needed to do, just putting pressure in
Nggak ngerti gue stream tuh banyak banget cobaannya anjing.
in pushing EDG to push onto mid.
Kamera gue tiba-tiba OBS nge-freeze, kameranya ngebug jadi gelap. Banyak banget cobaan itu.
They just set it up beautifully with just a double flash play, peeking together, making sure they take the fights, not showing a respect anymore, just to try and get it over that finish line, and then a follow-up round, which we didn't actually pull, but it's the exact same scenario. I mean, you just see the delayed B main take, really forcing EDG to take control of that one, and they were lost EDG on their attack side in that one particular round. That was the turning point for EDG to end up taking that map. But you know, some signs of weaknesses, I would say, just at least on that half, but definitely form focus wise, PRX have come here to play. They got some shooters on their teams, man. They're going pound to pound with a team like EDG. It was a concern of mine, I think, as well. But listen, the mechanical ability is all there, I think, for PRX.
Yeah, it certainly has been, and you can even see them too.
Aman
like
ya.
they're having a good time.
OBS gue nge-freeze tadi nggak tahu kenapa. Gue OBS nge-freeze kameranya jadi gelap. Gue bikin kopi jadi males dah.
For our aim lab shoot around, we're going to check in with Kong here and talk about EDG going into their pick on Bind. This, you know, we were prepared to see EDG supremacy.
Yep.
And even though we didn't quite get it in map 1, I'm not trying to sell the stocks quite yet here, Brent. I do believe that EDG can very well bounce back. Bind could be the map that they do it, and Kong could be the catalyst.
It could be, yeah. I believe he plays the KO on Bind, and they have Smoggy playing the Raze. So they swap the roles up again for this one, which is the next map we're going to be heading into. It's going to be interesting to see how he performs, but it's about that setup as well with the flashes and the plays. I think we might see just familiar patterns in terms of the win conditions. You know, how much we were talking about disrupting the retake protocols with the util coming in. Bind, when you're playing on the attack side, is pretty heavily, especially with the comps that they played, the double initiator comps, is trying to disrupt the retake timings. Either that or through B or A, trying to fight for backside A control. I mean, one of the first teams to put me on that one was, you know, Krax's KO on Bind for Foot. There's a shout out for you. I mean, they were one of the best teams in the game at doing that, disrupting that backside control on Bind. And so I think those are going to probably be familiar elements again. Yeah, a long time ago now. No, you can't.
Karen wasn't playing the game.
No,
so I don't care.
it's true. It's true. He wasn't even playing. He wasn't even born then, apparently. Yeah.
Well, let's go ahead and see what Coach After has to say as we get ready for map 2.
I'm now joined by Coach After from EDG and Luna to do some translating as well. Now, After, it felt like you could have really won that map. Do you think the slow start in the first half costed you? And how do you fix that going on to map 2?
其实在这张图第一开始的时候，其实是有一点慢热的。你觉得如果说并不是这样慢的开始，如果不是这样慢的开始的话，能够有机会赢下来吗？以及在第二张图能不能解决好这个问题？
其实我们下半场已经找回来比赛节奏状态了，所以可以在第二张图体现出来。然后第一张图慢热的问题其实是在节奏掌握上，我觉得我们一开始是熟悉他们的，但是我们在辩证的过程中，可能在少了很多细腻的沟通吧，就可能会变成是阻碍我们的一个情况。然后接下来在第二张图，我们会把这件事情给调整过来。
I think in the second half of the first map, we kind of like find our pace back, and we are definitely gonna bring it back to the second map. And the reason why we are starts so slow is because there are miscommunication, and we're gonna fix that in the second map.
Well, thank you so much for your time. After, thank you, Luna, and best of luck.
Miscommunication issues with EDG, certainly something that they're going to need to have to clean up as they get ready for Bind, because PRX, it just seems like they're just vibing out there. So you really got to try and catch them off guard here.
Oh, yeah, exactly. And if you think that attack in half that we saw in the first map was something, just wait until you see 2.5 initiators, because I count Yoru as a half initiator with all that utility.
Oh, okay. Go back to this comp.
Okay.
This is something that I believe they ran something super similar to this, if not the exact same comp with the Reyna and the Harbor. Yeah, I mean, I love to see PaperX pull out the Reyna comp, but especially like this double controller with the Harbor and the Brimstone as well, because they have some cool stuff that they pull out. I mean, it's been a while now. I mean, you're gonna have to scour the VODs if you even have time for that, because we're gonna be jumping into the game. But EDG are running their standard stuff as well, which puts Kang onto that KO as well. All eyes on him, I think, in trying to support that one. This is gonna be an interesting one. I think this is really cool that PaperX are pulling back the strap book almost onto this one. With all the discussion we've had about the map pool being weak, this is a great way to offset it, is by pulling out an old comp that you've already fleshed out before.
Totally, and you may not have a Sentinel, but you do have that Reyna, and you're going to be playing to support her as much as you can, especially when you're on the defense. But if they manage to do exactly what they did on map 1, they only need to have a super strong first half here on the attack. I think that the initiating power, it's still there. I think it lacks a little bit, but probably if EDG were super keen to going into this map, if the preparation was there, something has to change incredibly fast and adapt if they want to take this to map 3.
This is going to be quite fascinating to see how this, you know, crumbles or potentially rises up for both of the teams here. This is going to be really, really fun to watch. And good thing is we're going to jump right into the action. And let's send it back over to Mitch and Tom.
Thank you so much to our wonderful analyst desk once again. As map 2 is about to kick off, we're going into bind, Tom, and we've seen some comp changes. I'm excited to see what Forsaken has planned on the Harbor.
Yeah, it's something that they've run through in the past, and I think obviously we saw them have combinations with Gecko. We've also seen them run a similar comp with a Sky, but obviously Sky's kind of gone downhill a little bit, so they've gone with the Fade instead. But these are all agents that they've run on this map before. It's just this combination that I think is a little bit different. Of course, something on this map on Reyna, it doesn't matter the map, I'll be honest. He's always terrifying.
Yeah, something is just an element of his own. I think Reyna in general, my least favorite agent, but there's certain players that can make me enjoy watching her. Life was one, and something certainly is another. Good control over the site, but long is left open for the side of PaperX. They don't know that EDG have 2 players still stacked up there, but it looks like they want to take some control of their own, pushing through the spawn smoke in towards Elbow. Players caught them though. The rear rotate through the spawn has led to a very awkward position. These defenders are scattered, but they can crunch.
It's left it. Still back down to a 3v3. Already another kill coming through. PaperX, that W key hasn't been let go of for the majority of this round, and now with an advantage device still left behind. I don't even think they know that he's here. With the smoke fading, it's an impossible crossfire to come back from. Chaos in the pistol round, but of course that's where PaperX live.
Yeah, chaos is exactly the right word. I mean, that was a hard one for me, looking at all the players on the mini-map. I can see everything, and you're still trying to put together the pieces as they chop and change different parts of the map control. But I can only imagine what that looks like from EDG's perspective. You just do not know what the next step from PaperX's dance is going to be. 1-0. This attacking side has found their legs. Now they've got some rifles to play with, 1 pistol, and that's going to be on something. While EDG don't decide to invest very much at all. 2 sheriffs, and they'll try to find value by taking that orb early on B. Perhaps even push down on Bathroom to grab another. We'll see.
He's just going through it, isn't it? Yeah, of course he is. He was surprised by that. The opponents definitely weren't. They were ready and waiting for something to take a risk. Of course, he was only with a pistol in this round. Cove actually going out just to try and clear the close angles and go above it. They are taking some casualties, and actually a weapon has been found. Chichu, though, is desperately low on health. Can he find anything more? Yes, he can! He's already got a second! Stuck reloading, though, a little bit unlucky. A nice attempt from Chichu, and again, a round that shouldn't even have been remotely close.
No, not even.
Oh iya, waktu Forsaken Harbor, waktu Harbor itu yang main Forsaken ya, gue lupa. Dia nggak pakai Yoru.
Certainly have some fight left in them, and the best part about it is that one of the most valuable ultimates comes online because of that.
Ini mah tim kom waktu sama Jing, cuman sekarang race-nya tim monyet bukan Jing.
I think for PaperX, they've got to be kicking themselves. Sure, the initial fight, something goes ahead of the smoke, gets caught off guard, but he had a pistol. It's whatever. Yeah, ideally you'd have another player beside, whatever. We can look past it, but everything from that point forward was a domino that never should have fallen.
Well, luckily for them, Forsaken did also do a lot of damage, so he's going to have the Reckoning online.
Something is exciting me with an outlaw on Arena.
You're talking about that. I'm looking at Munyet with the Bucky. It's a deadly combination. First kill going the way, but the space already been taken. And of course the reckoning just gives him all the
Mau pakai Yoru. Iya.
This man
Yorunya jelek sih di ban. Yoru dia bagus cuman 1 atau 2 kali doang deh. Sisanya jelek semua.
Very scary. Oh yeah. This is where EDG can't really afford to swing an angle out in the open. There's not much of a choice. Looks like Orbital Strike being online early is going to be used to try and give them an advantage, but it pushes the bookie forward into their arms.
Yorunya
That's not where you
ya.
want this to be. Up close and personal. Munyet has a bit of a timing to worry about. These players on the other side, I mean, if one of them
Iya, nice. Kesabaran membuahkan hasil.
far away, and it's as easy as could be. Already tagging up.
Iya.
Classic. Wow, that is quite the third round for PRX. After what I saw in the second and in the first,
Nice,
I don't know where I am. I'm losing it.
He's just got a kill with a Bucky and a classic in the same round versus a 4x. These are the rounds as well that just shake you. Like, you're going into a map that has been strong for you within your region, strong for you historically, EDG, but you've just been owned immediately by an outlaw, a Bucky, and a classic. Like, you can't really feel good about a round like that.
It's so ridiculous. As long as a teammate's done damage or they're on half shields, this guy's able to one-shot you and immediately get out of there. I mean, you're already moving quick with an outlaw. It's already buffed, but he's just going doubling down on it. PRX 3-0, but EDG managed to upset them down to just 1 player left with a lot less. And he's gone through. That's perfect, like a scene out of Ocean's 12.
2 map cukup lah ya.
The smoke is held on.
Ush.
Managed to get
Bisa
one.
gitu.
What's done a significant amount of damage, but he's still in the corner. They haven't spotted him. Still just surviving out.
Emang boleh tuh? Mana boleh anjing?
I don't know how these rounds are going down in the fashion they are. Howdong still.
Woi.
How has no one cleared this man? He's been in the same position.
Woi.
They've done it flawlessly.
Nggak boleh anjing.
Mastercard Thrifty, by the way, guys. That was
The fuck, bro?
Mastercard Thrifty.
These guys are all right with weak weapons. It
Gitu?
looks like
they're better.
Why do they even buy rifles? Look at this. 20 HP. Just once again, 20 HP. And another player comes out. He misses the first shot.
Wah,
Immediately
itu mejanya Alex udah kebelah dah kayaknya.
It's filthy. You can't do that, like.
Nggak boleh begitu, cuy.
That is one way to get on the board. Yeah, cool. I'm gonna try and forget that happened and just move on with my life. Both teams now do have a bye. Munyet gonna be taking the space. This time he is caught, but not really anybody available to capitalize off the back of it. And they're using that cover
Minum kopi
again
langsung
just
segar
to
sih.
take initial space. They're not stopping though.
Di mata gue tadi kayak ada
Straight in onto Smoggy. I think that was
capek gitu
Munyet
kan.
battling for the
Nih
spawn.
agak melek dikit.
It was. He was going all the way through. He's being caught, but Mind Freak catching nobody. This is a big kill. They've got an extra angle to fight from that someone has to deal with. This man's an enigma.
Mampus.
Nobody's ever looking at him when he swings an angle. I don't get it. But at least it's down to Chichu. Low HP on Mind
Flick
Freak,
boy.
forsaken, but the post plant is the real danger. They can run that clock down, peeking one at a time, ensuring that spike is not diffused. 4-1 for PRX.
BTW Steam lagi salah.
This is where we return to normality.
Gue gak ada duit.
Good one.
Gue mau beli Nier Automata, tapi gue lagi main bagus. Seru banget nih.
Oh wow. Oh yes, you're so well. To be fair, it is something.
Yeah,
you're actually right.
It is the one and only time that actually makes sense. I can't, like, Howdom's just run through into a Molotov to try and get that kill. It is like, who can make the riskiest play of the round? And at the moment, I feel like the only person losing is me.
Losing my mind. Look, EDG, they've called a pause, and I pity their coaching staff. You sat there, it must feel like you've turned up for like 6th grade exams and you're a 1st grader. It's like, what the hell am I watching? My mind doesn't work at a high enough level to understand the chaos unfolding in front of us. For EDG, well, let's hope they've got an idea of the tweaks that need to be made here. It's only 4-1, but we saw PRX run away with it in the first half last map, and despite EDG having a big resurgence, they were never really able to find their feet. This has to be a different story for
Nih, lu pada bisa baca nggak nih tulisannya?
It's not only the fact that you have to try and quell what has been some of the
Tulisannya Karasuno, no.
You almost have to utility dump instantly, otherwise you're going to lose the site and you're probably going to lose your spawn. But then you also have to look at the guys on the other side of the stage. realize they're just giggling to themselves. At a Masters event,
Multi.
the opportunities, you need 2 wins and you get top 4. And those guys are just having fun.
You know, it's something you said earlier on, Tom. The fact is, you know, EDG, you lose this, you go, okay, well, PRX, maybe they are actually legit. You know, it's the region is sick. Sure, Gen G had managed to best them in the final, but it is what it is. You can still estimate them as a top team. You could end up coming up against Loud.
Si Nobody nggak beli apa-apa dong. Dia langsung nargetin ulti.
That's the thing. There are no easy games. Here goes Monyet again. It's a martyrdom. Headshot.
Nyet.
Showstopper. He's taken down nobody and himself.
Kamikaze anjing.
Something is though, he's just walked out onto the site. He's just got no fear. Even going to get himself healed back up. Kankan must be surprised. And finally, Smoggy will put him down with the trade immediate. An advantage once again.
Ini kalau Heaven nggak dilihat lagi tadi udah nggak ada.
We're gonna have to hope for timing, but actually timing could go either way. It's all going to be on to whether or not Mind Freak is looking in the right direction, and they both win their battles. It's now left on to just Devi, but one player is very low, and he's already going to clear him.
Oh, Devi's gone out ahead of it as well. That's expected, and Haodong lands the shot. This time someone was looking at him, but he still wins the fight. As a round will be found for EDG, that gap not going to be extending.
PRX
hot on their heels. Yeah, I mean, the other thing for
timing tapi udah di-expect. Kalau dia mundur masih ada chance itu.
After going down so early in the last one. But the reality is, he should be in a pretty decent position, still rocking a... Well, actually, I saw a Judge bot up earlier. He's going to go for a stinger. But the weaknesses aren't too massive. It's more so the ult economy. Smoggy's got a showstopper, and nobody has a Hunter's Fury to play with. Big ultimates for that defensive side. Big safety nets to fall into.
Still just nervous seeing something pick up on the operator on that attack. We've already seen the Outlaw. Now you get the big brother.
The thing is, you know, although the damage is going to be lower on the Outlaw, right? Kind of need the headshot on the swing. It's going to be much harder to post up on those angles with the op to get in and get out. And we saw him,
if you're not something.
True, for most people. I should always put that in front of it. For most people, that would be the issue.
We've watched him do it on Gecko in the last, on attack side, just single-handedly take out a team. So now he actually has some movement benefit. Even still, though.
Dicek, guys.
EDG really needing to string a couple of rounds together. It's been an eco and a problematic round of Monyet. No trouble finding that opener. Nightfall has
Monyet kena tripwire 3 kali ya. Kena mulu loh.
In terms of working out how far forward they've gotten. The high tide has cleared so much space.
Tadi kenapa ultinya kiri ya? Tide-nya justru nggak kena. Spek-nya tadi clear kiri, terus nanti tengahnya di-push bareng kali ya? Cuman kirinya kan si Monyet mati.
Finding targets. Oh, they're so low. With Smoggy down, the numbers on the side of EDG are good.
Aduh, bukannya nggak ngecek cuy.
With 10 seconds left, all they have to do is deny
this fight. Drop.
And Haodong, he gives the space.
Aduh.
6 seconds as they make it towards the side.
Waduh. Wah, itu nice banget. Gila.
How did he manage that?
Wah, anjir. Itu wallbangnya nice banget, gila. Kena recon.
I don't think he's winning it, but he avoided it altogether. Beautiful play.
I'll be honest, I was scared.
Itu recon si Nobody kan?
Well, when he let it go, I was like, that's a risk that I don't know if it's
recon Nobody atau kamera sih? Recon kan? Gila, itu nice banget.
In the safest spot possible and just hits a crazy wallback. This is just the fear factor though. Just what something can do even in the most awkward fights possible. Again though, the rounds the EDG have won is off the back of pistols and 2 1v1 clutches out of that man on your screen.
4-3. Yeah, it looks like a really close score line, but wow, they've been hanging on to that cliff's edge. For the start of this, we hear some sheriffs firing off. You know there's weaknesses there, but they also know that the big gun was saved through. They've spotted it, and they've taken Monyet down as well. For something, he's not going to find any players out in the open giving free kills away, and that op, I don't know if you're going to be able to save it through to the next. He'll have to create his own opportunities.
towards that B side they go. Corner held, so something that would need to be hard clear.
Tiga sheriff satu OP lucu banget ya.
PRX and the read already in from EDG. Third player already into position. I felt like they'd have to be some pretty big errors over on the other side. You can see the passive angles that are being held. The knife even going to give them a fair amount of information. They know there's a couple of players waiting here, even ready to invest the orbital strike if they need it. They want to try and make this one clean. It has been a lot of close rounds. Even still, though, something gets the open of it. Is there anything more to be had? It's not looking too likely. I don't know how he's still alive here. Finally,
OP-nya drop dong.
the dancing something.
Wah, susah nih.
Rises to the occasion.
Susah nih. OP-nya diambil.
Strongest buy for PRX, but it's more important for EDG to finally have a clean round.
Well, 100%, yeah. I think the orbital strike here saves them so much trouble. You got something going out, but he's essentially alone when he emerges from long. These players can't come to meet him. Devi was low after a spam, very quickly taken down. Can hitting some shots. That could be the confidence builder as well. Yeah, he had a really rough first map.
Alex, aduh, tim bangsat nih.
It wasn't off to a flying start. He had 2 kills before that round just there. Now, you hear the screams, you hear them get hyped up, and hopefully they'll be able to pull this across the line.
Interestingly, he was always the player picking up that operator, even it didn't matter what agent he was on. We saw it on a Gecko in the past, but it does seem like the mantle has been passed over to Smoggy, which makes me a little bit sad. Maybe it's just for the early peak. Might be just going for something a little bit more aggressive in this round and obviously having that extra movement to try and get out of there. On the other side, though, we are seeing that Reckoning. Now, this was one of the major issues in some of the early rounds, is that Reckoning for Forsaken. It just is filthy. It gives all the information and causes chaos.
Makes sense as well for Kankan not to be running that operator, just because even last round, right, the reason they're so stacked up on B, because they started to rotate to A, but the knife found 2 players inside hookah, that's when they pull out the orbital strike, that's when they pull the rotates to B, and they're ready for that blitz out. PRX ran into a stack because of him, so if he goes down early, just trying to get an op pick, you lose so much in the late round. If Smoggy goes down, well, it's all right. You're not losing any massively important utility. And that's if he goes down. Some control over bathroom and B long. The extremities of the map belong to EDG, but PRX have their sights set on moving through this A site, which was another element of why the rotates didn't come through, because there's always this utility there from Haodong.
Still going. They are all the way outside of Showers, and that'll be Mind Freak down. A big loss in the early round. Haodong fighting within the cages, within the Reckoning, and he'll lose his life for it. Maybe a little bit of an overextension, but with one controller down and Forsaken's utility already expended, this doesn't leave them with much. In fact, they're going to go pushing, something trying to do everything on his own, and now with them pretty much boxed in, I don't know if PRX have a hope in hell of getting out of this.
Certainly not if they play aggressive. We can see that with the crossfire, the triple crossfire, backing up by an op, but they've made the right call, instead hightailing it to the other side of the map where they could be able to get a plant down. It's the post plant that's worrying. The advantage here goes to EDG, 4 versus 2. At least long control is going to be sought after.
Anjir, line apa itu?
Placed, puts Devi down to 60. Another
Lu
disadvantage.
enak dari mana?
The TP was heard. Smoggy is the one TPing. That's a little bit of a head scratcher with the operator. But he's holding down that control. I guess we'll be going in to take control of Hookah.
It's the doubt as well. Like, he's not necessarily moving too quickly. It's just the doubt in his opponent's mind. They have to face the other direction as well.
Aduh.
Damage done by Devi, but not quite enough. Forsaken needs to pull off an absolute miracle.
Dewa anjing.
And it's not going to be happening this time out.
Sampai menang si Dewa banget.
In the first few rounds, EDG now take the lead.
And that's the road to recovery we were hoping to see for this defensive side. 4-1 down to 5-4. And a lot of things going right. Get that control over the map, and even seeing nobody right now has one. He had so many high impact plays on the previous map, but they're still able to put these rounds on the board. And I think Haodong's setup, really, there hasn't been a solution from the side of PRX. A couple times they've been
Aduh, udah nggak bisa nih. Alex udah marah.
Traps, just barely dodging them. I can almost hear the Alamont playing in the background, but now they're starting to get caught because these traps are moving. They're in different positions each time, and that setup just isn't one that you can go blitzing into, which is what PRX very much like to do.
And it's what they're going to do again. Early nade over the top will actually clear out the trip. Trying to adapt themselves. Again, though, don't have any ultimates online. Showstopper and the null command. The trip, the second one, though,
Kena
is
trip
superb.
mulu, gila.
Kong gonna get a free kill. Howdong again, though. An audacious attempt trying to catch them off guard. Chichu not taking the same risk. Waiting for a little bit of support. And already they're gonna counter out anything on the other side with that null command.
Yeah, no danger of those more aggressive flashes coming through or of something taking your sight away. Not leering onto them. No smokes for Mindfreak as he's down and out, and Devi does well to at least find one, but that player is resable. And, well, that could pull Devi out into the open to attempt to deny. Down to a 4 versus 1 with 11 HP, and he's even detected. Got ahead of the off at least, so damage will be done. But there's still 3 more players waiting for him. Spike in Forsaken's possession at least. And now I've ran out of positives.
He was trying to pull a rotation with the TP, but nobody never left that B side.
Gak kecek kah? Oh, kecek.
It's going to get a free duel, though. It's starting to get a little bit messy for the side of EDG. They've given up a couple of kills, not quite knowing where he is. The time is the issue, and more so, nobody on the flank. Like to get anything here.
Never.
Pretty much a miracle once more. Just trying to find a safe place to plant, and that doesn't exist. Nobody's going to be coming in from behind. Chicho with the wall bang, and it will be EDG extending that lead even further.
That's 5 in a row. The timeline looking convincing. They've come up with solutions, and this comp gives them so much to fall back on. The ult out of Concon. You can see why you want him alive late into the round. Even as he gets res back up, immediately lobs out the knife and finds exactly where that final player is, nullifying any potential for Forsaken to catch them off guard. With 6-4 on the scoreline, that's when PRX might even have called a pause coming into this round, but they haven't. And there's a lot of weaknesses for them. This is again going to be somewhere they hope to just blitz.
Anjir,
Wall up to
wallnya
block out the dart is beautiful.
buat nahan
They
recon,
still
gila.
have to swing in to
Ya
smoke.
ampun.
And that's where the real trouble begins.
What the fuck is that, bro? Lagi terbang di headshot anjing. Pakai sheriff.
Something down, and now they've gone for the TP, but this is somewhat of a ruse. They've left
The
Monyet behind. It's
Iya anjir.
watchful, but the other 2
Bang
players
Ilya nih.
looking to try and head potentially into the A side. Only one
Iya.
defender, and a
Lagi terbang di one tap.
slowly being pulled in.
2 smokes for
Nah sih itu. Itu headshotnya sampai ke mental sih.
to cause problems. You can see there's one in play, but now the second comes down and it's buying
Gue
space.
dari rebahan sampai bangun gue.
This is a perfect fight for him to take, but he goes into the smoke at the wrong moment. 2 players ready and waiting. Molly through. That'll buy time, buy space that they now need. The advantage sits with EDG. Little tag onto Mindfreak. It's okay. Smoke down as he repositions, but ultimately a kill needs to be found before EDG can amp back up to fight through. They're inside the cage, the flash is good, and the kills are even better. Absolutely gorgeous. Another late round where you see the benefit.
Something nembaknya udah mujizat gitu loh padahal loh.
That flash was clinical.
Dah, rebahan lagi gue lah.
He's been fantastic again, showing depth to what is a player we know can run around and outgun pretty much anyone within the scene, but he's been in the setup.
Enaknya pakai kursi recline nih. Gue bisa rebahan sambil nonton sambil main. Gue sampai bawah.
It shouldn't be allowed. They must be happy they killed him through the smoke, because otherwise I think something might have just aced that round.
Yeah, with the way he was going, to headshot someone with a sheriff, double blast packed up in the air. That's just outrageous carry on from this man, but it is par for the course. At the same time, despite some nice shots from something and a decent map overall, it's still 7-4. The advantage now doubled up on in this final round for EDG. They've claimed an orb and an orbital strike on the back of it. Chichu will have that to work with if they end up in a post plant, but hold on to fight.
Dang.
They're rushing it down, trying to take these duels. In fact, it's Chichu who has the ult that's now left on 30 HP. Panic plays it just to buy a little bit more time so they can fight on the side, and it works with Concon hitting a shot and Chichu doing the same. There's no long push anymore. Chichu, oh my god.
Anjir, di spray nggak ada yang kena dong.
Damn close.
Wah.
They think he's dropped out.
Wah.
They spammed too much for him to still be in position, and he might just get the jump.
Waduh.
The second player behind him as well. They're going to emerge from the smoke. Chichu, the sacrificial lamb, and a trade through the smoke, and he almost doubles up on it. Concon is shut down though, and we're into a 2v2.
Managed to dodge it. He's always been a snake in the grass. He gets the timing perfectly online. The tags on both sides. It goes to the repeat to give Smoggy the kill. From a 4-1 down deficit, it has been a complete turnaround for EDG. 8 rounds now onto the board, and what a ridiculous resurgence it's been from the Chinese powerhouse.
Well, Haodong has been impressive, sneaking his way behind these players again and again. It's time for us to toss it over to the analyst desk to see what they make of EDG's chances.
I mean, EDG's chances looking pretty solid so far.
Masa map 3?
Yeah, exactly. I think that there's been so many like turnarounds. We're seeing how they were interpreting the map, how they have all these ways of acquiring that information, but they were committing the same mistake that they were making in the previous map, and it's leaving PRX with
Sumpah gue nanya itu bajunya transparan ya.
Use it against you, and that is the reason why they were getting on those rounds. But Haodong, as we were saying, and as Mitch was highlighting,
itu motif atau transparansi?
key to the turnaround, not only because of the clutches that he won, is actually being at the exact right moment, right time.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you see numerous moments him holding down for the showers control, making it really awkward for PRX to try and go for that big A exec that was working all the time in the first half, basically the first half of the first half. And he was just an absolute monster. I mean, an absolute difference maker. But got to give credit to EDG with the right adaptations in terms of their macro ideas. They decided to push up the aggressive op into angles, out through showers, out through belong at the same time. Haodong was contributing, doing his piece as well. Really good moves by EDG to recognize what those weaknesses were. And they've set themselves up now with an 8-4. I mean, after losing a pistol round, it's almost unheard of. This is a dominant half by EDG. They're going to be going into the next now, almost setting themselves up for that map 3.
Yeah, exactly. And on the other side, we saw a PRX that started up super well, very aggressive, you know, a lot of good utility, you know, the shotguns, everything was going
doing
a little bit
that we know them to do.
Exactly, the things that PRX like. But I didn't see the effect that probably the Reyna was intended to have, so I need to see what they intend to do with the defense. Are they going to be extra aggressive? Are they going to put a lot of pressure onto EDG? And if that happens, what is going to be EDG's response? I think that, again, we look at Haodong on the Cypher. If those pushes are going to come in, of course, we need to keep a close eye on our flanks.
Yeah, and you know, listen, I'm with you. I want to see some aggression. I want to see PRX just come out of the gate, punch him in the mouth, see what happens.
I think you will.
You have to. I feel like you have to at this point. Otherwise, you're kidding yourself here. We'll see what PRX can pull up together. 2 rounds, they're right back in this bad boy. But EDG don't want to give him that time of day. Let's send it back over to Mitch and Tom.
Well, GB wants to see PRX come hot out of the gates, punch him right in the mouth. That's what he said, Tom. Are you expecting to see that face after such a devastating first half?
Yes.
You're getting it anyways.
Yes. Just immediately, B Short is being pressured. Going to see some utility faked out, but again, they're just going to go running back. The thing is, the slow pace of EDG in the last map might just run true again, being patient to try and garner extra space. There is a nade available for Munyet to slow them down, but once more, it's not just going to be the immediate run-through. Almost a complete opposite to what we saw from PRX.
EDG are extremely patient, perhaps knowing that if you leave that clock run down low enough, PRX are going to get aggressive. Now, TP is heard towards A, steps are made, but the flank is on the way. That's something for them to work on. And the trap is destroyed. Here comes a quick triple blitz on the back as the players desperately hold on to control over the site. Reinforcements are on their way and just now arriving, but a quick switch from EDG sends them towards the defender.
Nice!
Forsaken somehow stands strong inside the lamps. 4 kills on the frenzy. And another pistol round for PRX. Normally, Tom, this is where we'd be getting the violins out for EDG. They lost the pistol to start with. They lost the 3rd round to follow up. And now they lost another pistol. For most teams, that's a death sentence. Yet here they are with a 3-round lead.
Yeah, I think Forsaken just with his frenzy, unable to isolate the jewels with him, and he's just able to take everything over the line. A much-needed pistol for the side of PRX if they are going to have an opportunity to try and turn this one back around. We've seen EDG, though, do an awful lot with very, very little. But this would have to be one of the best of them.
Well, that pretty much puts a pin in that one. He still has another bullet. That was a collat to start us off. A little bit of a longer reload now that he's fired both shots. But he's right back into the fight just in time.
Outlaw skin BP ya? Gue pengen deh punya skin Outlaw.
Well, it's not going to happen. Device swept in to steal it
Flawless.
away. But you know what?
Flawless dong. Nggak usah aneh-aneh lah matinya lah.
He doesn't really need any more kills. Might as well give them to someone else. I don't know. Munyet with a showstopper.
Nice gitu. Bagus.
He has done
Ya bisa yuk bonus round menangin.
Forsaken has gone in with his ult in round 3. Which kind of makes you think maybe he hasn't done that much else for the rest. Because if you're getting enough kills to get your ult in round 3 twice. But
Gue juga nggak tahu ada orang kedua loh. Iya kan, yang satu di belakang. Itu pure luck sih. Yang satu di belakang wall.
I am looking at their 2 duelist players both having a judge for this round. I feel like if
Iya, duelistnya dua-duanya pakai judge.
So damn careful. Now they normally are. I'll give them that. They're normally very slow, methodical, using their utility. But I feel like avoiding both of these players is not going to be easy.
No, most certainly not. Just taking a look at EDG real quick as well. Damage doesn't even need to be done to cheat you before he goes down to that outlaw of Forsaken. And I think that's something that we'll see manifesting in how this round breeds. That smoker can't be the one that's going out to take those wide approaches, to check angles. Instead, it's got to be much slower, relying on things like your Sova drone, your recons to clear those angles. Forsaken is posted up and ready to duel, same spot as before. And for EDG, that could spell a disaster. Add to that, as you said, Tom, they've got to be careful of those judges. Mind Freak is not being caught, and so they'll look for the B site control, and that's when they walk straight into Munye. He's crept down behind the box and pops up for a nasty surprise.
Yeah, doesn't even need to switch out the weapon, really. Will eventually do it and be able to escape as well, but Forsaken.
Nah,
Munye's done well.
Gitu dong. Ini Forsaken mati nih, mohon maaf nih dibilang.
I'm just looking at the position that's been taken from Howden.
Wah,
He's completely in behind.
Cypher dapat cuy.
They've left a gap, and that gap has been exploited. Such good positioning from him.
Aduh, lihat debrisnya. Ini pasti nggak expect si Mind Freak. Mana expect anjing?
Chichu just getting in behind his opponent. The advantage swinging into the favor of this attacking side. Sure, it's a bonus, but for a second it was looking really dangerous.
Dangerous indeed, yeah. In fact, it looked like they had it more or less locked down. But again, it's Howdong to bail EDG
Jadi kalah
on this map.
gini,
He
cuy.
has just been spectacular. In Spectre form almost, never are these players able to actually take the fight on the open.
Oh, ini winnable round loh tadi.
Against him, he's always slipping behind. 9 to 6.
Hanya dilepas.
Slipping behind now. 3 rounds down.
A nice
Sayang
recovery
banget.
from them. And again,
Itu kalau A-nya nggak dilepas, kayak masih ada harapan sih.
He's having an alright game, but his impact has been paramount. The amount of space he took there cleared out Something's aggressive position, because that was the thing. Something was cleverly sort of moving himself further and further.
Kayak gara-gara ngeliat si Jason mati, terus si Monyet dapat 2, expect-nya bakal pukul di B ya. Terus tadi juga emang 2 kan dibilang. Cypher cuma nge-lurk tuh di A tuh, nggak kecek.
Still online.
Soalnya kan 2 mati di UK, 2 kecek sama si Jason. Jadi mereka expect-nya bakal hit B. Cypher tuh masuk ke side A, nggak kecek. Tadi si Aaron kan dari shower kan, tapi dicabut dia. Pas si Aaron cabut, si Cypher-nya masuk. Nah, timing itu. Oh, udah gak dilepas lagi kan? Nah, tadi di sini dia mundur, terus dilepas. Si Cypher masuk, si Aaron mundur. Udah tuh nggak dilepas-lepas ya Wara. Kali ini Cypher ngelurka di B nih. Tahu nih si Monyet gimana. Kecek sih harusnya. Oh, nggak jadi. Si Howdongnya tahu. Nice. Nah, nice. Di expect. Bagus.
Leaving just Chichu remaining 8 seconds and 5 members of the other team still to find. There is no shot that he gets anything from this one, and finally, well, Munye will fall, but Divide
Bagus. Langsung di expect kan si Awara, gila. Tadi kecolongan gila.
Because when they push on the side of EDG, they're well, first of all, information. Secondly, when they push, they're likely to be blitzing in towards that position. Utility coming his way. Chichu gets an orbital strike, but Smoggy could be on you in a second. In fact, I think he just put it out so he could farm up some orbs and pick it up. He's almost halfway to having it online again.
Sumpah, Phantom sih asik banget loh. Kemarin gua nge-spray transfer dapet headshot.
Weaker weapons. This is where they've been scary at times, and an orbital strike online as we mentioned. So still a lot of danger if this attack side can find ground.
Jadi, PRX mesti sabar anjir. Nah ini nih, Cypher nge-lurk lagi noh. Dia 3 ADA nggak mungkin bolong lah ya. Sumpah, Cypher tuh kekeh banget mau nge-lurk. Lihat deh. Tadi dia nembak, nge-swing, balik lagi, masuk. Nah, ketarik tuh. 2. Cypher masuk nih. Siapa yang bakal expect? Kecek. Ya! Tuh kan? Sumpah. 2 kali loh digituin. Lu lihat deh si Haudong. Lurkingnya dari tadi parah banget cuy. Karena nggak expect, kena timing. Mereka decision makingnya juga salah sih. Itu call-nya langsung ke B tadi. Wah, 2 kali loh kalah gara-gara Cypher-nya si Haudong nge-lurk. Tadi kan si Cypher Haudong di sini kan, nembak lari ke kiri, mereka expect langsung bakal ke B. 2 langsung ketarik cuy. Lurknya cepet banget. Mereka mundur, dia masuk. Jadi timingnya tuh udah cepet banget. Gila. Bukan? Gak expect dia. Wah. Mejanya. Minus 10 HP. Itu call-nya juga aneh sih. Kenapa dua-duanya ketarik ya? Si Jason sama Aaron langsung ketarik ke B kan. Cuman si Aaron nggak jadi puter balik. Tapi dia nggak expect Cypher udah masuk.
But one of the main challenges that they had was playing up against Haudong's utility. Was having this guy consistently being able to put through these traps that are slowing you down, and it was the A site that he was holding onto control of. And how poetic that when they swap sides, it's Haudong coming through and going, yeah, you know, you should probably play the agent I'm playing, guys, because I can just walk up behind you.
Mereka expect DG langsung, iya, tapi udah berkali-kali loh. Dan pasti Alex marahin, jangan lepas side-nya, jangan dilepas. Itu kesalahannya fatal banget loh, klasik loh. Klasik ngebunuh Aaron, ngambil Vandal, terus Vandalnya ngebunuh yang lain. Ngebunuh Reina tadi ya, OP-nya something. Itu fatal gila. Blunder 2 kali. Cuman gara-gara Cypher nge-lurk.
Push all the way down B long, but again, it doesn't really come with any rewards. Having to fall back and use and burn a lot of utility in the early stage of these rounds, and they've won neither of those fights. Can't come.
Ditigain coy.
He's got both in his locker. Just takes down the duo.
Susah sih ini.
Of PRX, but it does turn out it was a trio. There was a third piece to the puzzle. Unfortunately, Manyet is now just sat in a corner with a judge.
And the very best of luck to him in the battle to come. Because by the looks of it, that judge is going to have to find 5 players. EDG are in a 5v3 with no intentions of being picked off individually. They're moving together, making their way into this site. There's a drone, and that's really the...
Oh, giving him a gap.
Oh, hold on. He might actually be in the position to get this. They've spotted him, and only one. Perfect from EDG.
Yeah, nice work.
Udah sih, ini mah saving aja.
Just create a little pocket in the corner that he can hide with him, but I think the fact that
Ini nggak pernah langsung komit loh itu. Nahan mereka dari tadi. Habis ngebunuh Bilong 2 aja nggak langsung masuk. Ngehold dulu. Ngehold, ngecek, setup baru masuk.
No, that was everything. PRX threw the kitchen sink at that one, and have now just got to try and hold on to this rifle. An 11th round for EDG inevitable, and I don't know if they're going to have much to play with in the next round. Luckily, both teams, also something, has been able to do a lot with these low buys. So maybe we'll get something magical once again, but it is at the stage now where PRX need it.
Well, EDG with 11 on the board, a 4-round lead, and 2 rounds to close this one out. Bring us to split. And it'd be a nice swap over, you know, the shoes on the other foot. As EDG lost 13-8, PRX might be losing 13-7. You said they invested everything in that last one. They do come out of it with still 2 ultimates to work with. Monyet and Devai will have something, and you know what, literally their teammate, but they'll have those ults to work with. A couple rifles.
Nobody 112 anjing, gue baru sadar.
Looking great, but the element of surprise is the best thing that they can hope to rely on.
Nobody kali ya 112. Wah.
Surprising at this point though.
Aduh, kejepit cuy. Gak bisa cuy. Ada.
Mindfreak's gonna get one, but that's all she wrote. Look how ready EDG were. I know you've got a slightly lower buy. I wonder what you're gonna do, lads. I wonder if you're gonna push something. Just the cam out immediately from Haodong to get his team ready, and then everybody, the firing squad, just watching. Very easy round for EDG, and sure, something's still standing. He's gone as well. Smoggy winning that fight out once again. And what can Devai really hope to achieve here? Left with a close range SMG and 4 full HP.
Kayaknya sih.
Well, GB wanted to see PRX on this defense come out with aggression, just punch him in the mouth, but they've ended out more like
Ini mereka force kan soalnya.
5 chances now for EDG to
Kurang
close this map.
Turns out they had grills. That's what it is. They punched them in the mouth and it's left an indent in their own hand.
And this is exactly
Insidernya split 3-2 Elis.
You're just like, oh, are PRX pushing?
Kalau
Wow, I'm shocked.
EDG-nya nggak bisa ngebaca sih, menang sih.
Protocols are there. They're ready. EDG a step ahead on Bind. This was a map that we had some question marks around. Playing against PRX on this.
Kemarin soalnya waktu split PRX lawan T1 ngebaca banget itu.
Certainly trying to make that look like a foolish statement.
Oh, especially you lose both pistols. And you're 12.
3 duelis main maju-maju, mereka main di belakang banget.
And they've had some rounds as well where something popped off and they've managed to weather that storm. It's something that many teams have tried and many teams have failed. And within their matchup versus PRX, it's never gone their way. I believe they've had a map before in the past, but I think if they head on to split, it's been one of their best maps within the region, although it's been great for PRX. It is the perfect place to end it, but let's not get ahead of ourselves. Already we're seeing Forsaken with an Odin, so Mitch already believes.
If there was a round to win,
masih ada harapan sih, ada ulti Monyet sama Fake sama Devai.
Those easy reveals to play around. Instead, it's more to do with spamming, and well, you're gonna have to get the head of Smoggy, and he's crouched down behind that box. It's not too easy for now. The suppressive fire really about to be tested, as if you fire away, that rocket will come right back at you, but somehow the rocket's done nothing. The show not stopped just yet, with damage onto Mindfreak.
Bisa nih retake nih. Devai ulti, Monyet terbang dah. Aduh, Nyet, jangan mati Nyet. Nice.
An advantage at this stage for PRX, but they still have to get back into the site. Chichu sprinting around, hasn't been isolated yet.
Nice.
It's left down to just one man, but that one man is Haodong. Getting that a little bit more aggressive. He's using his opponent's util, even has the cam, and it's just about going to reveal. Knows that they're no longer on this diffuser, but desperately needs a kill, and he isn't going to be able to find it. That diffuser will come through, and PRX will live to fight another day.
Good, I was already calling in to the admins, change his name on that hood, take out the last 4 letters. All you need to say is how. Every time this guy's on the screen, it's just unbelievable. But this time,
bagus. Sekarang 3 yang lainnya ada ulti gantian.
Out of 5, 4 more needed.
Bisa lah, 2 win buat bikin momentum.
That wasn't meant for Kodcom, by the way. No, it wasn't. It was the player he'd already spotted, who was already dead at that point.
Nobody full, iya anjir. Nobody nggak nembak anjir. 1-13. Ultinya dia aja nggak nge-kill tadi.
All it takes is one, but
one eco from EDG, is it? That's all it takes.
Maybe.
EDG masih makmur gila.
That's not really been.
Dia kalah sekali lagi juga masih nggak apa-apa.
And I actually feel like it's fairly important for PRX to clear out that cam. Every piece of utility Haodong's had has had impact. Instead, though, it's the slow walk up. Looking to potentially get that orb on.
Tinggal nunggu ulti Jason sama Aaron aja nih.
I don't think there should be much. They'll be able to stop it at this stage. This is such a disgusting position for Munyet to play. I don't know how Haodong survives this time. Surely he should be dead to rights, but no! He hard checks him! He's prepared every single moment! And they've got that advantage again. Something he's going to try and make a hero play. Haodong goes running through and dies to his own teammate. If he made it through, you bet he probably gets a couple. And Ducky holding the line on the other side. It's now a wraparound for EDG. Look where they are. 30 seconds left. They expected the B site to be open at this stage. They have to get the kill onto Ducky, and he is low.
Well, with Chichu down, Ducky really has it all stacked up once the spike falls. 16-second left. No chance for that to go their way on EDG's side. They have 3 more chances now to push this across the line. And we're starting to see different facets of PRX come online. This is what we were hoping for. But this guy just...
Look at this. He gets orbital strikes by the opponent. He's like, I think
Ya Haodong lebih milih mati sama ulti temen aja. Adalah mendingan temen aja nggak bunuh.
He's like, oh dear.
You know, if he had a cam where our observer was, he would have known there was a safe gap. But
he also wouldn't have been able to move.
Probably would have had to jump and check it real quick. Wouldn't be ideal. But yeah, the double orbital strikes, they don't happen too often, creating a pocket like that.
Nah, apakah ulti something bisa merubah semuanya? Wah, wah A-nya di-push sih. Wah, udah kedetek A-nya di-push sih. Nice! Jason. Oh,
battles have gone the way of EDG. Mind Freak needs a little more, but it's only going to be the one. Something and Forsaken.
Ini 2 tukang tembak ini bisa nge-carry nggak nih?
Names that strike fear into the hearts of any opponent. Oh! Trying to get that wall bang through, but is getting dangerously close to a reload. I think he's even going to have to just fall back, give this one up for now.
Well, 10 bullets left, right? He had to pop that reload. But he's ready to fight again now. 100 bullets primed and ready. Something on the other side of the map as the plan comes down. He's going to take a while to get there, but Forsaken's not willing to give up the space. Now he's being spotted as he sees the cam turn towards, and this might be the end for him. He's being revealed, but good damage. That's deterred Haodong from actually taking the peak. It's allowed for that cam to be completely negated. The swing is good for something, and he spotted both players. A 1v2, 5 bullets now. And it's not looking good. This could be EDG.
Reload!
Another dismiss into a heal, reload, and something's got a chance. No Lear to work with. The defuse being stuck to half, but the swing is perfect. And
nice try.
Close the map. 13-9. Map 3 is coming up next.
That's the thing. It was one of those maps where you feel like PRX. They tried to punch them in the face.
Sumpah, kalau Aaron nggak kecolongan Cypher 2 kali bisa menang anjir.
And honestly, the duck and weave, EDG every single time, fantastic performance from them.
Iya. Sumpah itu tadi dua round penting loh kecolongan. Anjir. Itu tadi call jelek banget sih. Aduh, sayang banget. Pada ngatain monyet useless, monyet useless. Dibully aja semuanya. Ikut anjir.
Tú sabes, baby, que yo soy una gárgola. Moviéndote culo, papi, tú te pones a rezar. Que sabes que yo te pongo bichi. Ya me cambiamos cuando te veo, dreaming con alguien más. Sabes, baby, compromiso. Mami, dale hasta el piso. Con esa carita linda yo no me complico. Me pa' pillarte como si fuera yo mi cuento. Te la hype y yo no lo medito.
Nih tinggal lihat nih, EDG bisa nanti gak ngerti cara ngelawan 3 duelis atau enggak nih. Kalau nggak ngerti sih harusnya menang. Soalnya waktu sebelum lawan T1, PRX lawan siapa ya? 3 duelis itu pertama kali. Lupa gua. Lu kan nggak ngelawan.
Soy una gárgola, salgo de noche con todos mis gatos derrapándote en los coches, pita encendida, todo de roce, la vivienda activa para el perreo hasta las 12. 1, 2, 3 con la nalga para el piso, la bebé anda sola en
Temen gue pasti pada palo anjir.
prende y pasa, lo seguimos en casa, que yo tengo un par de amigos pa' quemar la salsa. Oye, bandida, bebé tú eres una atrevida. Cuando
Woi, update Palworld asik nih. Gitu dong. Kita menjelajah YouTube dulu nggak sih? Ada apa? Cuma, iya ada turnamen Valorant. Demo Troublemaker. React konten, watch party bukan react konten.
Listen, they tried to get punched in the face. They tried it. They absorbed it. They ducked it.
No, but PRX did punch him in the face a few times, and they got some iron jaws, man.
Listen, that was a dominant game from EDG, even though the stats, the scoreline doesn't really suggest that. Our stats producer, Oasis, was saying, like, listen, I think it was 56% of 4v5s being...
Karena sini juga pengen mendengar nama panjangnya dari istri Papa Gama Citandika ini ya, teman-teman sekalian ya. Apa sih?
Nama istri saya itu panjang luar biasa sampai KTP aja nggak muat, Pak. Soalnya namanya.
Yeah, and you know, actually, we do have a Verizon high-speed moment of that map, and we're going to give it to something. Obviously, gives us an opportunity to talk about just the impact that he makes. But it's wild that you see something pull off, just absurd clips like this, and even then, it just was not enough to get them over the finish line. Which means that EDG just shut them down in certain areas.
Yeah, exactly, because it's not only about the shooting. I think that the understanding that EDG ended up having of the map, how they positioned the operator, and the pressure that they were getting with it, even though this happened, they managed to win the map. So
yeah, and despite the fancy shots, I do feel like PRX kind of shot themselves in the foot by picking up the attack side op so much. And they do it a lot. It's like something style.
That happened last map too.
Yeah, they try and do it to slow down the tempo, and because they condition super hard, pacey play styles, and then they slow it all the way down. And
gue ngeliat si Jason pakai 4 second, gue pakai 4 second, goblok, pakai Phantom. Si Jason pakai Phantom kayak asik banget ya. Gue main juga gitu coy. Nih. Klip gue kemarin waktu main. Tuh, asik banget gila Phantom tuh kalau nge-spray. Bener-bener spray transfernya tuh. Satu headshot. Wah, itu puas banget sih. Gue jadi kayak gue bakal main Phantom deh.
all that space, even though EDG is a very slow.
Iya, udah gitu spray transfernya tuh kayak gue udah tahu kan kayak tingginya seberapa gitu ya. Kalau Vandal gue nggak tahu sumpah. Vandal tuh kalau nge-spray gue nggak tahu gimana cara biar headshot. Kalau Phantom literally kan crosshair tinggal tarik ke bawah, terus tinggal geser kiri kanan gitu. Nah, harus ada balikan. Nggak jelas ya, obvious.
What a heads up. But it's just so damn away from him to be able to find those timings.
Shot at it.
Yeah, he shot
jelas ya. Nggak tahu gue udah kena kutuk anjing.
My guy's dialed
Nggak di PC crash, Windows update, OBS nge-crash, nge-crash lagi. Itu nggak ngerti lagi. Tapi kalau gua nggak streaming nih, nggak ada apa-apa gitu. Kemarin streaming Valorant juga nggak apa-apa. Kalau crash kan emang once in a while kan. Tapi ini aneh banget anjing.
But it just doesn't have legs for me, I think, in the long run. So I'm curious if they're going to be running the exact same comp again this time around. They showed that they're willing to change stuff up. They changed their bind comp back to an earlier version. So they may change things up even further for split. They have that option available.
Yeah, exactly. But maybe they didn't go that deep. Maybe it could be the Euro, and it's actually going to be.
Gak akan dikelarin sampai enggak anjing. Ngantuk gue le. Ini gue udah sakit pala nih nontonnya nih. 2 kali kecolongan Cypher.
Yeah, maybe. I'm really going to be paying close attention to PRX because
itu Cyphernya Haudong 2 kali ngelert. Dan gue ngeliat kayak anjing kena timing. Beneran anjir. Langsung di counter loh.
And one of the things that EDG are going to have to answer is actually keeping up with that tempo control. Like making sure that they can always keep
yang klasik tuh paling bego dah.
Really quite quickly. And especially because they're not running like a
cuman gara-gara Cypher lompat sambil nembak nge-swing langsung dua-duanya mundur ke B kayak aduh kenapa?
Yeah, exactly. And 3 out of 3 maps PRX is going to be starting on the attack on the first
one.
Definitely what gave them the
ini kan tim kom, ini kan komnya waktu ada Jinx nih. Kok Jinx? Mereka pakai kom yang sama kayak Jinx. Cuman bedanya Razer anjing. Razer ya anjing yang ini. Bukan Jinx. Anjing ini. Itu yang di shower kecek sama Tampers itu ada di luar nalar sih. Di monyetnya belum nyatu sama PRX.
The thing is, this composition is one we've now seen a couple of times. The surprise factor is gone. That doesn't mean you're going to be able to deal with it. It's very, very difficult. And these are also agents where I think like something, one of the best jets in the world, Forsaken, personal opinion, best Euro in the world.
Menurut gue sih itu karena playstyle lah. Menurut gue si monyet nggak sebarbar itu. Soalnya kan somethingnya juga jadi ketahan tau gak sih? Lu kalau lu lihat dulu yang something sama Jing, wah itu dua masuk udah nggak pakai otak sih. Itu the real way gaming. Nah sekarang tuh gara-gara si monyetnya nahan, somethingnya juga ketahan. Iya, ente jadi ketahan. Tapi mainnya jadi agak tetap blunder sih ya. Itu kayak blunder udah kedena sih itu. Cuman jadi ya agak safe.
Needs to be found soon from the side of PRX. Leaving Mind Freak alone though isn't the best of looks. That spikes down on
pistol round guys sama nama.
3 players to pick off. No from the shadows either.
Nih, tapi wah, feeling gua agak jelek sih ya. Si EDG tahu triple duelist nggak mundur. Dihantam lagi. Kalau T1 kan kemarin ngasih space lumayan jauh kan. Itu pas defend pas T1 attacking, si T1-nya mundur dulu, gak maju. Karena si PRX-nya bakal maju-maju. Terus pas ini si PRX mukul pakai 3 duelist, ini dipukul balik gila. Nah udah, kan? Alexa udah marah.
They'll be happy. Yeah, just in the nick of time, right?
Di EDG-nya nggak takut ngelawannya masalahnya. Untuk PCT monyet juga hold back juga. Iya, tapi itu menurut gue masih wajar karena baru kan. Bukan turnamen pertama sih, pertama kan yang di Afrika TV ya. Cuman ya turnamen official sama kan. Terus ini juga habis VCT, adjustment buat Madridnya kan bentar banget. Nggak nyampe sebulan bahkan ya.
He sticks around for the kill instead, not worried about the numbers that could be rounding the corner. When he gets out, it's Smoggy that's left in the open trying to cover his retreat.
They have to be a little bit careful here, but this is just his chance to farm, get ever closer to that ultimate. Don't think that's the gun that something's looking for, and even just an extra player being dropped here could cause a few issues going into the next round. You can see a much more passive sort of crossfire.
Iya, sumpah loh, dari kemarin si something tuh kayak ada klip gilanya kayak Sheriff tadi, tapi kayak Beda nggak sih kayak yang dulu? Dulu tuh kayak anjing nih orang nembaknya nggak jelas anjir. Sekarang tuh udah jarang tuh yang kayak gitu. Kayak biasa aja. Nembaknya bagus tapi kayak jadi biasa aja gitu. Oh dulu kan gila-gilanya dia. Pakai Reina, ulti, dismiss.
I mean, a flyer of a start with 5 kills on Con. The rifles on the side of PRX will be facing off against what was
sekarang kelas momennya di monyet mulu anjir kalau dia controller.
Once they've got these pistols up against rifles, their win rate has been insane. And some very important rounds as well. Mind Freak stunned up and then
di
in the corner. And there's no free way for him to get out. I mean, he can use his abilities often, but not this time. There's none online, no shrouded step.
Oh, PRX-nya mainnya agak aneh.
Probably being held. He's just trapped for now.
Forsaken may just look to try and actually retreat and get an orb here.
Ini seingat gue, ini playstyle-nya beda sama yang kemarin lawan T1. Seingat gue ya. Yang sama T1 kalau nggak salah lebih gerasak-gerusuk, ini kayaknya diperbagus deh stratnya. Mereka ngecek dulu tuh dari tadi kan. Aronnya ngecek B, B-nya dikontrol, Mita dicek rame-rame, terus begitu udah tahu di mana celahnya mereka langsung lari ke A. Ya playstyle agak beda sama yang kemarin. Gila cicunya. Wah.
It really was.
What the fuck?
They're going great. Nobody with 3 kills. And now it's just one standing. 10 bullets and it's only one needed for Smoggy. EDG absolutely decimate PRX in round 3. And well, Tom, I hate to say I told you so, but this is just, it's happening too often now. The value they find with pistols is frankly unreal. And if I'm not mistaken, I mean nobody had 1 kill for most of it. He finished on 2.
Bad feeling gua. Udah tim kom aneh-aneh. Mereka mesti menang di attacking loh.
He got more kills than the last map alone. Unbelievable. Look at this.
Logically 3 duelist. Bukan? Mana kan? 3 duelist harus menang di ini loh, di attack loh. Pertama kali mereka main 3 duelist kan mereka di defending setengah mampus. Attackingnya mereka baru galak. Nah, baru nih. Bukan baru 3 round, udah 3 game anjing Alex begitu. Dari map 1, dari sunset dia begitu, ngecok 8 round dia sakit pala. Anjing nih tinggal 2 round dibungkus saya. Ada nih, udah. Sama kursi-kursinya tuh sama meja tuh, wah udah dibanting gitu. Itu kulkas Red Bull isinya udah es teh manis semua nah. Dah, menang guys. Menang dah fix. Tapi dimarahin dulu, bentar. Menang, tapi Alex marah dulu, bentar. Sabar ya. Dah, mentalan naik cuy. Bangsat, main yang bener. Menangnya tuh kenapa gitu harus menang di round yang susah? Giliran round gampang tuh kalah gitu, kenapa gitu? Round impossible kayak gitu mereka baru menang tuh aneh banget aja. Udah berapa round gampang yang dikalahin?
I feel like the only appropriate thing is to replay Brand's desk from earlier.
Just shoot him in the face. Just shoot him in the face. What a round. I was thinking earlier in the round, like, it's really curious that with a judge, he gave up that control. Because he took screens. They had a smoke down, he was within it. I was like, oh, he gives up the control. That's really interesting. I don't think anybody saw
that. Ini mereka attacking nggak boleh kalah loh.
A 1v5 ace with a judge where they're all pushing in to cover that one angle.
Defendingnya kelabakan sumpah.
Everything else.
Kalau si EDG-nya main yang bener, wah defendingnya susah sih, susah banget ini. Mesti nyolong banyak nih. Itu EDG-nya fast rotate lagi.
Is showing up. That's something down right away. One of the duelists dealt with.
Oh shit.
Con, you can see he's feeling confident.
Yeah, they're right back on the horse. It doesn't look like they've.
Wah gila, ini diacak-acak loh. Ini 3 duelis kebaca sih.
Looking for some more shenanigans, and in the 2v4, they're gonna pop the Viper's Pit. They need Forsaken to do something, and now Divide. Well, it's not quite 5.
Ini kalau sampai menang lagi gue udah nggak ngerti. Gila nih.
At least he's got the pit to work with, but back to back, these kind of clutches surely can't be happening. Too many players, too many guns. This time they will find an EDG, a 4th round on the board with the defuse coming through.
Wow.
Passive play around A seems to be working in the early rounds. And nobody as well. A really impressive resurgence from the previous map. I think his comfort level on Sky is definitely up there, but most of it doesn't seem to be anything to do with the agent itself. And the
gerak
worth noting is, I believe Mind Freak was 1 HP, 1 hit, for not one exactly, but 1 hit when that first pelt subsided. Could very well have been the double kill. EDG are getting hyped up, and with a 3-round lead and the economy of PRX completely destroyed, there's a good reason for them to be excited.
Yeah, they've got 1 round. It was all Forsaken. Other than that, they didn't have any.
Menang 1 round cuma gara-gara Forsaken Ace. Menang harus begitu anjir. Hanya dikosongin.
TP into the site once more. And an afterplant will ensue, but they are so happy to play in these retakes, and almost the initial kill. It does come in elsewhere.
Kebaca cuy.
Again, PRX are always going to want to play aggressive in these positions. Pull the numbers into their favor, get some of those rifles out of the hands of their opponents.
Monyet.
And the paint shell found
Matinya nggak jelas.
the low HP Monyet. This is left Divide alone, and he's being watched. You know, it's an ambitious thing to try and flank Howdong. He's never going to let that happen.
That's for second emote IRL.
Find the kill, a showstopper and a rolling thunder online for EDG, moving into round number 6. This was a great
Wah gila nih, kalah sih kayak gini.
And now the PRX come in with rifles. There's a lot for the side of EDG to fall back on if they do lose those opening duels.
Yeah, I think this is the thing now. EDG have done amazingly well to not play PRX at their own game. They're not giving them.
Ini entry tinggal dikasih nih. Terus di retake pakai ulti, kan? Orang kecewa aja anjir. Udah itu tinggal nunggu retake loh. Udah ada ultinya si Smoggy no. Sama Kangkang tinggal ngulti. Udah pas mereka mau retake. Bridge-nya no, main di screen. Bridge plan. Oke, nunggu teman-teman datang.
To clear the site, get the spike plant, good timing. Chichu in trouble now. The showstoppers found him, but it's only trading out the kill from Smoggy. He's had some impressive rounds of his own.
Nah, di ulti. Ultinya kemana BTW loh? Mohon maaf nih. Itu Smoggy ulti kemana ya?
Still to work with, and Forsaken in a nasty spot, ready to play with that judge from down below, but he's worried now because the A side. Being lost, they're going to swing in, and he's only got a classic closing the distance on the back of the smoke. He's evaded their detection, and he's up close with a judge. Forsaken buying them time and space, but now he's dropped, and the low HP
Multi-site
lost the live nade, buys time, runs that clock down lower, and nobody has nowhere near enough time to get the defuse in. 2 rounds for PRX, and a lot of damage done to EDG's economy.
Gila, menangnya berdarah-darah cuy. Menangnya berdarah-darah gila.
It's done to PRX. They've won a round with 0 players surviving, so they're still in, well, right in the thick of it.
Bladestorm though.
Yeah, it's going to pad the gap a little bit, but if they lose this next round, they're completely in the bin. They are not out of the woods just yet. And if we've seen anything thus far this game, it's that it's been blips for EDG and then an instant resurgence. They've been fantastic in a lot of those retakes. I think a couple of duels going their way, the showstopper as well. So we finally see a hit towards this B site. The early flash is already going to give that information over to nobody, and the cavalry is full sprint.
Oh enggak.
I think after he slowed them down, they've decided to go back.
Look at that damage. When Yet's down to 50 on just the straight spam through those smokes. Mind Freak already dropped. That's a lot lost in terms of sight coverage, blocking off angles, paranoia out of the game. And for PRX, with
Feeling
Yet
gua buruk,
low,
guys.
Divide.
Ini nunggu mujizat tau gak sih?
And it's actually something to find that onto Chichu, but when he's dropped, it's Divide alone on the other side of the map. Maybe he had a chance to get something done if they were able to plant that spike, if they were able to keep eyes towards B main. Instead,
Itu kayak peluang defense mereka menang tuh kecil.
we saw from Forsaken.
I don't know if that exists.
It's true.
I'll be honest with you.
So much utility though, and they're not in a
Ini.
rush on EDG. That's the big difference.
No, it would take
Ini blunder Bain tadi parah
the
sih.
amount of hero power, and they're already just watching. They're ready and waiting. Not going to let that happen twice. It's going to be another
Gila,
round
triple
for EDG,
duelist udah
and
kebaca, cuy.
It's an instant resurgence once more. It's an attempted fast-paced play. I think EDG have done fantastically well to not go in for those early fights. They're happy to sit back. They're happy to sit in their crossfires. And when the opening kills aren't going the way of PRX, when advantages can't be garnered, it's just not going their way.
Oh, you don't see Alex getting heated like that very often.
Really?
Well, last year you didn't. They were always winning.
Alex dari map 1 udah marah-marah.
I agree with when they were winning.
Yeah. Behind the scenes, he's a pretty chill guy, but I guess you put him in this, on the server, it's a different story.
Oh, he's up there with Barber. The second you get him in that room with a desk and a monitor watching PRX, it's like, right, well, the desk's getting hurt.
Yeah. Well,
the desk of Alex's desk has his own Twitter account. You know that, right? Because of how much
Alex's
damage he does.
desk
Oh, I see.
has his own Twitter account. Dibahas
Talked to
tuh.
Alex a lot behind the scenes, and I suppose same as Barba, right? They're super chill guys to chat to, and then the game
Wouldn't
starts.
you be like this when watching your team run a triple duelist comp and get the plant down every round?
You know what? Probably. Hey, it's a very frustrating thing, but when you look at EDG right now, like nobody, I cannot stress it enough. This guy had 2 kills last map. I'll say he had some great assists, good recons that won them a bunch of rounds, like Munyet, I think even popped his ult once, got reconned and taken down. But whatever about the utility, he's 14 and 2. Like, it's just completely shutting them down.
Nobody tadi 1-13 sekarang 14-2 anjir.
As well. Wait till the attack.
Wah.
You're seeing the flexibility, a completely different role for either player and
Ya habis lo
completely
timeout
different results, but ultimately they're in the lead. That's a good start though. Forsaken again, he has been really the one shining light this team has had so far. Something taking the space, a hero rifle now in his hand. And this time they are playing slightly more aggressively. They're giving opportunities. That might be a mistake.
Nah, ini baru berasa bener nih. Gila!
Oh no, I wish I didn't see that. Well, it wasn't as late as before, but it was just as successful. At least the trade is found, and we're left into a 2 versus 4 with weaker weapons for PRX. This is something way beyond what you could have expected. Forsaken has ult to work with. If they need the information, more likely it's just about winning those duels. Both players very isolated and spotted. They know where these EDG players are, and on the side of PRX, that's going to let them group up. A brave play from something that didn't quite work out, but he's got plenty of teammates there to catch the ball when it's fumbled. 6-3. PRX, they're on the board. But it's been back and forth, and if it keeps up that way, EDG going to be very happy.
This is the thing, the MasterCard Thrifty almost comes purely off the back of Forsaken again. Like, just 2 entries into the site, a little bit of an overpeak through the smoke as well. I think this is one of the times you can sort of go the opposite of what we've seen from EDG so far. They've been very happy to give up control and then retake. This time, 2 players went for slightly more, well, actually, the TP into B main was very aggressive.
Yeah.
And they got punished for it. That's not how you want to play against this PRX.
Oh, nearsighted, but he's got a close range gun. Kan, good to find one. And the heal is coming right on through.
Berasa
So it's only the
di-counter dong.
shields that he's lost. A fantastic start again for that side of EDG. Although Smoggy does go down, the B site's open and they've bypassed the Viper's pit. This could become a problem.
Forsaken's already taken full control as well towards the spawn.
Dikacangin Vipernya di
Massive
B-main.
flank as well from Divide. He's got to get a move on eventually as that retake will be beginning, but if his teammates can buy enough time and something on that aggressive AWP, always a problem. Leaving things now with an advantage for that attack side. Chichu needs to try and choose his moment to find some space back in for a team. And actually, nobody's still very, very far away from this. Chichu eventually pounces, but he's got no support. No teammate to be had. The flank eventually starting its way back around. He's going to have to pull off something ridiculous here.
Kenapa lompat ya?
Not jump in the face of your opponent. I believe that's a mouse wheel. Nobody now has no time. No
Kenapa lompat dia?
to turn this one back around. He's at least making
Wah, mahal
it
banget
incredibly
lagi.
costly once again, but he will be forced to retreat and save.
Firing on a whole different cylinder than
Pencet
what we saw
space.
before. You know, you say that might be a mouse wheel. Either that or they've been watching Vitality VODs. I'm not sure.
Shout out Sender.
that little bunny
Tangan mahal banget.
spray. You weren't watching EMEA. It's worth a watch back. It was a fun one. It didn't work out as well for Chichu. Of course not. I'm not even joking. It is of course just a mouse wheel, just an unlucky mechanical failure.
Spacebar gang.
Exactly. My spacebar is to crouch, but we don't need to talk about that.
No, we don't.
6-4. EDG. Some ultis to work with as well. This could help out. Seekers from nobody. Grab that info late round, but it looks like they might be getting something early.
Push nih feeling gua nih.
EDG pushing up close. Stun being held.
Nice.
The shot lands a little too quickly, and now there's an isolated breach on this site. Smoggy is going to be feeling lonely for a while. Kan a little too far away. Smoggy's going to have to hold this all by himself. And
Gila,
he
anjing,
just
attack.
at the right time to grab two. They're back in contention, and now Kan's here. No room for PRX on the site with Munyet on 70 and the spike in the open. This is going to be a very difficult clutch, and he's found the first.
That's risky. Chichu goes peeking in. Howdong's able to close the distance. As you said, he's had a quiet game so far. Showstopper online, but with half HP, might not be worth popping. Munyet just trying to isolate the angle, find out where his opponent is, and now just standing with rocket in hand, not quite knowing where his opponent's currently coming from. It is a TP into the side, and Howdong eventually gets the job done. Plenty of time left on the clock, and EDG are going to increase that lead to a half victory.
That was actually really impressive that I didn't see the showstopper just shot at the floor right after the paranoia came through. I think Howdong repositioned perfectly. He couldn't have played that any better. And in fact, I think with most players, he would have baited that showstopper out and left him in a very tough position. Kan dropping the spike, buying the time, and setting them up for that success. Howdong finally having his round. This is 7-4 for the side of EDG. Map 3, a long and hard-fought series. And this half is going to come to a conclusion. Is it 8-4 or 7-5 for PRX? That's going to make a hell of a big difference.
Oh, the initial pace is there again, but it's meant to be a ruse. Thing is that fake has not been sold. I think they were hoping that Munyet would at least do a little bit, get something from it, but a showstopper straight at his feet. The rest of the team looking to go in. That's a flash, a blind, completely left in the dark here is Howdong. Now looks to come alive. He's had a quiet start, but the close to the half might be exactly what they need. Mindfreak has made some space, but well, he's going to need quite a bit more from this one. Another 1v5 needed, and it isn't going to happen twice. 8-4, EDG again. They can go toe-to-toe with PRX, and this might be the best chance they've ever had to beat them.
Absolutely. 3 times they failed, 4th time lucky by the things we're seeing. You got to remember, Tom, you opened this up by talking about how we started on the better half for both of these teams, and EDG have certainly come out on top. Double the rounds of their opponent, and they've already shown us they've got what it takes. The momentum is high on their side, and the hope's even higher for EDG to finally best PRX on the international stage. Let's toss it over to the desk to get their thoughts.
Only a few rounds away for EDG, but for PRX, they're a team that you simply just can't count out quite yet. That being said, though, EDG really looking to just close this one here with a decisive finish, Kukuka.
Finally, after 4 times, this might be the time that EDG is going to close it. And the way that they're doing it has us very surprised. Kan coming alive there in this last map. But actually, it's the protocols and how well studied they have the map and the effect that PRX have on it.
Yeah, they've had some amazing answers, I think, for these big A hits, which is the bread and butter of PRX when they're running this comp and this map. Their attack side is what's looked always better, but like I said, it's the protocols. EDG here, taking their time, making sure they hold on to ramp control. Nobody being a difference maker here in this particular instance.
Defending lebih susah, Jir.
And then multiple rounds after
Triple
this as well,
duelist defending lebih
right
susah.
in mind to either play the full retake, like this, the flash peek coming in, just making sure that they fight for
Kedua
that
game mereka defending duelist, triple duelist.
they're making sure they hold on to that crucial positioning. And even later than that as well, playing for the flood defense or playing for the hard anchor anchoring positions. They always had the right answer for what was being thrown at them. And it just shows to me clear preparation, I think. You understand what the weaknesses of this comp were. It was one of my concerns, I think, for PRX. I was constantly talking about how weak their map pool could potentially be. And Split was the one that I was putting a focus on it on, because you can't just replace the Yoru with a Sky and expect it to work to fruition. You're going to have weaknesses, in particular, trying to fight in instances like this and really just... Yeah, I think EDG, you can tell from this, they've done their homework.
Yeah, exactly, and you need to think about PRX. Now they're going into their defense half, and we need to think that they're coming to this event, the ones with the worst retake percentage. They're not going to be able to do the same as EDG did in this half.
Yeah, and that is going to be quite scary for PRX. Can they find that next gear? They're going to need to, or else this match is done and done.
Gue nggak tahu ya, Swiss Stage itu kan mereka bakal main terus ya. Cuman gue nggak tahu di titik apa mereka bisa menang. Setahu gue sih nanti dihitung dari semua nih main, yang winnya paling banyak yang menang atau apa gitu. Jadi cocok di game 1 masih ada harapan buat jadi juara. Cuma masalahnya kalau gini terus gimana anjir?
PRX for the most part, they've been good in their pistols. Didn't go great in the last half, but we'll see if they can get this one over the line. Already losing
kalah di pistol round cuy.
Nobody is not going to allow any.
Mereka kalau kalah pistol round sih wah.
From the TP of Forsaken.
Ya udah goodbye deh.
Now they do have a quick flank. They're ready to sort of surround their opponents, but with something already going down, I believe that was through the smoke. That is not the start PRX were looking for.
Nice fake by Forsaken as well. He put his TP down, faked it out, and nobody's gone looking for him. Well, much to his surprise, the player was still there. Oh no! The martyrdom comes into effect in EDG now. Stam with a very good chance. Low HP on a few players though, of both of them. In fact, the Mindfreak capitalizes. The first is his, and 20 HP left on Smoggy. A big play with the Frenzy is not going to happen. PRX have found the pistol, and this is a lifeline for the defense of PRX.
Yeah. We got him very quickly.
Aduh ini emot hati ganggu banget anjing. Gak kebaca chatnya. Masih menang. Oh.
So for the majority, they were really putting up numbers in that first half. We had high expectations for it, and as it was mentioned by us and the
Iya anjir, ini apaan sih emot hati nggak jelas?
Came prepared, and also you've just seen the individuals shining. Kayak
emot hatinya ngalangin chat anjing. Yang desain UI bego apa sih?
5 and 12.
Nggak nyoba gitu dia, nggak ada testing gitu.
That's something you never really see from him. Now he's got a chance to farm up some orbs here. Has himself that outlaw. Of course, no shields on the other side, so should be a good chance for an immediate kill. Playing very aggressively around the orb. He will have realized how far nobody has. Luckily, he has support. I'm also looking at Chichu.
Yeah, he has managed to sneak his
way
a
little
further than you'd expect. The downside of not playing
isunya nggak ngecek. Lihat nih. Aduh.
Back can sometimes be a little more open. It looks like Chichu is going to be cosplaying Haodong with a nice easy kill and a recovered weapon that makes everybody a one-hit. This, oh no. Yeah, of course. Don't let them have it in the next. It's costly, but what a shame. He could have one-hit every single player, Tom.
Oh, and they're going to get it anyway. A little bit unlucky, like both players close enough.
Menang kok tapi nggak puas ya kayak.
Kind of what you needed.
Menang sih rondenya tapi kayak nggak puas gitu.
Is Forsaken really going to go for an operator? This would definitely sort of pad the gap a little bit.
Split op and outlaw, Tom?
Hey, I'm not saying it's... No, I don't know.
Split,
genuinely.
Op, outlaw, Bucky, Spectre, Bulldog. You know,
Brown win incoming.
Sometimes you just you can't
use bonus round Jason beli OP nih.
Paranoia, nade, and play through him, and yet up close with a Bucky. Okay, this is great value for this weapon.
So far setupnya bagus. B mainnya di fight, A mainnya juga ditahan loh, shock pointnya. Aduh, nah itu udah gak bagus loh. Nah ini, aduh anjing. Gak usah ngomong gue ya.
Yeah, they've lost something in a very audacious position. I imagine that was with the dash online. Forsaken is now in a good spot, but he's lost his life as well. This man just isn't missing at the moment. The main character of this matchup had a rough start to the series, but has come alive at the perfect time. Dominating, taking over, even with the heals to support him here. Devi under pressure. And he's going to go down to the same man as well.
What hope is there? A save is called as Munyet has retrieved the operator. He would very much like to have that expensive weapon in the next round, having invested so much. You see Forsaken's credits 350, and even that shot from Munyet, it's not as valuable as you think. It's a kill and a dent in the economy that is decently low for EDG. It helps to manage their money. The problem is they know where the op is now. Sure, it might not be back on B site, but they've cast a wide net, and as this round comes to a close, they'll look to close that net and catch him. It looks like they've done just about enough, and yet number 9! Munyet's got it! He's out! He's out! He was out! But he stayed around for another kill. I guess they might have caught him as he moved through spawn anyways, so it's not that he was guaranteed a free run. But that op is lost.
Yeah, and that is going to put a dent. It's going to be Forsaken who takes it. They're going to just give him a stinger. Obviously, when you're playing that Yoru, you can take some risks, play some aggressive angles. But it's definitely not ideal, especially when he has been one of the major players in this game so far for PRX when they've had success. Munyet, showstopper online.
Okay, Alex, I pin you. You can see my camera.
Already going to just try and play with some of the sound cues. It doesn't seem like there's any real interest from PRX with those early initial sounds.
Alex, gue juga udah pusing liat ya. Orang kayak gue aja ngerti salahnya di mana. Itu berarti udah konyol banget.
No one on the A side.
Yeah, it's wide open.
They're just playing into middle. Yeah, I guess again with
Kata lu pinjam mau, ntar gue meluk apa? Alex udah meluk meja ya.
To completely give that up, and with how the lurks have been, somewhat surprising, but it looks like they might actually get this spot on.
He comes in, Chichu's under pressure. You might think, but you would think wrong. That, I'd love to see Coach Alex's cam as that one comes in. Weapons picked up, they hear them backing off, the paranoia is there. And the flash out from Forsaken, he's not going to give it up. This is the right play. He wants to pull the advantage back into their hands. With the spike down, he sticks around after turning. Another huge round. He might not be alone, but he doesn't need backup. Not when he's playing like this. Mind Freak closes the round, and well, it was very close.
Kenapa menang harus yang susah, anjing?
This man is single-handedly keeping the team in it.
Yeah, there've been multiple rounds.
Kenapa menangnya harus di round yang kayak gitu? Kenapa?
And somehow he's just managing to pull off play after play. He's been on this roster for a long time with many heroes arising. We saw the rise of Jing, something, Munyet joining the team, and somehow this guy always still looks like.
Kenapa round yang setupnya udah bagus jadi kalah?
And what you can see for the other side,
Round-round aneh kayak gitu baru menang anjir. Ini bobo Trifty sih. Mohon maaf nih. Please gue nge-jinx, please. Please gue nge-jinx. Tahan, gue udah.
Now though, there's a little bit of a different approach from the side of EDG. Just shoot him in the head with sheriffs, and it's worked out perfectly. 9-7, double digits on the line, and they have so much control. The ult is going to be used, finding out Chichu. Good flash, but no kill. 4 HP left, but it's enough. He's made it well. Oh! I thought he made it out. They pulled him right back in. Mind Freak, 1 versus 5. And if you thought this was the round we were going to look at when barriers went up, go get your head examined.
They've still got no weaponry.
No, they've picked one rifle.
They haven't managed to get any of the guns. It was just such an absurd round. And the thing is, that is Chichu now realizing how much space he can take. He walked straight into that A site. But I don't even think he broke stride the entirety of the round because of how PRX have been playing. And because of that, it ends up being their
Gue tuh kadang males ya kalau gue ngomong tuh suka bener gitu loh.
Consistently spotting the openings of their opponents. And it's been lurks on both of the maps that they've won. Haodong in the last map, and now Chichu doing the same on this one. It's a problem that PRX are gonna have when they run these sort of comps.
They came into this round up against an Eco on the side of PRX. They had full rifles. And the call in the end is to save before they even.
Jarang banget loh. Benci kalau gue bener tuh aneh banget tuh. Gue udah berharap kan tadi gue nge-jinx nih. Please gue nge-jinx. Beneran anjing. Bang Alex tenang, gue ngerti bang.
disappointment and anger as EDG have stolen this out from under PRX's nose. 3 rounds in the lead, and they need 3 to send PRX 0-1. You could have a PRX versus Loud game, and well, Magnet doesn't want that.
No.
Ulang.
It's the opening they've been looking for. Both teams have had mass success with weaker weaponry. And Chichu does have a Viper Spit. If they can get him into position, it could be problematic. Something. He's been spotted, but just runs away with the information. You can still see the Tiger being thrown out over on the A site. Information being garnered by EDG, and again, that walk up, but this time there are players there. Even the TP available onto site for Forsaken if he needs to go back and support. Instead, it's this fight, and again, something has been having a rough time in individual battles, which is not something I thought I'd say today.
Well, even starting out the day, the first 2 maps, Concon had a pretty tough time in individual battles, but there's no signs remaining of that anymore. Lots of players from EDG ready to run into A site. It's going to be the Rolling Thunder that's point of contact close. Already is Forsaken, and he's caught one, but he won't get out of there. The spray's too good. Quick rotate by Mindfreak, straight into a stun. He's kept back for a moment, and that wall is buying space and time, but as they cross it, they're lower. Easier to take down, and Mindfreak catches all 3. PRX aren't giving this up just yet. The gap is down to 2.
Yeah, somehow the gap is within touching distance for PRX with how things have gone. A solid start with the showstopper. I also like how we see Forsaken just delay.
Something tanpa jing adalah nothing, guys.
It kept his teammate alive on the site. That surely would have been him going down with the Rolling Thunder. And that also bought time for Mindfreak to be able to TP to the other side of the map. So impact even without the numbers.
Izinkan gua minum dulu.
Still though, economy on the brink. An aggressive push that has had very little success so far.
Oh, something's even going to give it up. You can see the respect being given to the side of EDG.
Something itu sama Jing kayak biji tau gak sih? Kalau salah satunya nggak ada tuh jadi cacat gitu.
For long range battles, it's a decoy going through, and Chichu's realized, oh, he was screens a second ago. I don't think he's up in heaven. The rotates are coming through, and they'll fight for heaven by the looks of things. I like this wall on A. Oh no. Oh, it looks like I'm incorrect. There's going to instead be a bit of a poke by Concon up towards B first, and that is keeping players in position. Mindfreak's pushed up, 3 players towards B, and it's the fight on Concon that could decide it for Forsaken. If he loses control there, the panic, and they stay on B, but instead, the rotates are underway. And the A side is now definitely the target. The info is there, but Devi is so desperately low, he won't be able to hold on. And as they rush into the site, Concon realizes he might have the timing, but Forsaken realized that too.
Yeah, Viper's Pit, though, is definitely going to make things more interesting. Every player within it, at least for the moment, heals available
Mana
as well.
retake-nya?
Nobody
Mesti udah mesti RNG ya.
help everybody else. Utility-wise, not a whole lot to play with, and that's not the start they were looking for. Every member falling Forsaken again.
Sampai menang lagi, gue nggak ngerti.
For them to take this round, and Aldong is ready and waiting as he looks to wrap back around. 11-8, lead extended once more. And now the problems really are there. Look at the economy for the side of PRX.
Yeah, this is crushing. If it was EDG, I'd be expecting us to see 11-10 on the board, but the thing is, it's not. PRX have struggled on some of the lower buys. EDG have been so
aja nggak nembak, anjir.
Win one, and it was off Forsaken's double entry with a Sheriff. So, but that's the thing. I do feel like right now, even though like Mindfreak is up there, I feel like I'm just looking at him every round. I'm like, okay, can he give them something to play with? Because otherwise, I just don't see a way that through. And Mindfreak's already dead.
Yeah, that's going to be tough. Smoke's down. No paranoia. Although it's often used off early contact, Forsaken is going down to take a close range fight.
No
His TP is to B, and he's out. It was just a quick recon jump. I like that for info, but the info, unfortunately, is that the stack on B is incorrect. The A site's under threat, and they're going to be very late to the party.
He's got no flashes to play with, so it just has to be off raw skill, and this time, too many targets. Not going to be able to get anything, and just look how far the remaining players are. It might even be a scenario of just going down to the spike. The only thing against that is for something probably wanting to get that Blade Storm online.
Kayak juaranya tahun ini kalau nggak Genji, Sentinel sih menurut gua. Genji sama Sentinel tuh lagi konsisten banget.
You can see he's going up to try and get something. He'll get an orb one way or another. And it looks like it's the other. Yeah, shot in the head. Something going up for the same. And it's just a formality at this point. Smoggy's picking them all up. And wall goes down, and here's the push. No kills for something. Blade Storm, Viper's Pit have been acquired by PRX, but the cost they paid is that EDG now have 4 chances to put them 0-1.
Timesnya udah, Times juga sana jauh banget, parah. Jagonya tuh keluar gitu sekarang. Timnya bagus loh.
Hometown heroes or the America's #1. I don't think it's a good look either way. It is brutal with 2 losses sending you out, and that's the thing. Even if you win that first one, there's still a decider match. You're still going to have to play one of those upper bracket teams. For now, though, a little bit of extra pace thrown in from EDG. A chance they've never had before, a chance to close out a series versus PRX with 3 losses. I've heard 3 is the magic number. They're looking at 4. But there's a lot of ults online for their opponents right now. That is where PRX have done their best work.
And especially thinking about this A site setup, if they play retake, Viper's Pit can get online using that wall to block a lot of the angles.
Posisi A-nya nih rawan anjir. Aduh, monyet lagi yang di situ. Kalau mereka belok ke side, masih ada harapan. Kalau kerem, aduh, bisa. Aduh.
The challenge is about to come through. The flash has caught him, but he's turned, and it's nice.
Aduh, untung ada Jason.
A decoy in and a TP out. The advantage is
untung ada Jason. Monyet suka blunder di tempat kayak gitu anjir.
Forsaken, another 3K, another big play from this man, and he's waiting for his teammates around the corner before he takes out the fight. 3 more chances for EDG before they hit an overtime.
Kalau di pojokan kayak gitu tidur anjing, ketiduran ya.
Avoid CNED. And I think that they may need to try and incorporate that on the EDG side, because genuinely Forsaken has been the one thorn in their side. They have looked like the better team throughout this map. A pistol either side, there's no excuses in that regard. Winning hero rounds, Khan back online, nobody as well. There hasn't been a weak link, but when they run into Forsaken,
sampai 2 round juga masih iya anjir.
9 times out of 10 they lose the round. He is the sole defender of this A site right now, with a little bit of support coming. Showstopper for Khan could put the end to him, but it looks like he just wants to take a firefight.
But look at the space taking by Monyet. It's perfect, but Khan's ahead of him, finding the kill. Forsaken flash to work with TP towards screens. He's going to try to get the kill. No, in fact, he's not. The flash is just used as he falls further back. And now here comes the big old rocket. Forsaken's dodged it nicely. Spray good for something. The rolling thunder going up towards heaven. It's not caught the players, and the site is under threat. Something maneuvers around and jumps into Khan. Eventually, he'll fall with Forsaken on another and low HP on Smoggy. The spike on the A site. And a very tough one for them to retrieve. They don't know where that second player is, but they found him. It's all on Forsaken. 2 kills, but the spike is at his feet. He knows these players have to push him. The utility 2 flashes will now no longer, and it's a few bullets in the difference, but that's enough. EDG, 4th time is the charm, as they finally bested PRX.
And it's the first time that W Gaming will take a loss for the Chinese #1, and what a great start to the tournament it's been for them. We said both teams came into this one looking a little bit shaky, looking like they were vulnerable, likely could be beaten, and well, for PRX, that has become a reality. They finished 2nd place within the Pacific region, and now they finished 2nd place to EDG as well.
I feel like nobody's just had a magnum level performance from 2 kills to 20 kills. But still, he's not even able to shine a light on Khan. An unbelievable map from him. And after a shaky start on Sunset and Bind, it's fair to say EDG are here to play. It's 0-1 PRX go down, and they'll wait to find out who's
Samping sama monyet juga nggak nembak.
later on.
It is a scary 0-1 bracket already. Terrifying. You're looking at Loud down there, PRX, FPX, and that's the thing. Even a match of like PRX, FPX, there's going to be some of the craziest comps and ideas.
Alasan Samping nggak nembak.
EDG proved that they can not only swing with the big boys,
Karena
but
ini.
they can also weather the craziness of a PRX. Other matchups that they have throughout this definitely won't be as ludicrous as that one, but the fact they
Nah guys, ini yang juara Genji kalau nggak Sentinel dah. Dah, PRX. Gua nggak yakin mereka punya kemampuan ketok magic ya. PRX berantakan.
Win over PRX in a spectacular fashion, and I think that this is an EDG team that you heard Kong before, right? This jinx.
Dah, aja nggak nembak anjir.
For such a long time, they can finally breathe a sign of relief today.
Itu nggak ada info juga mereka kok gitu. Iya, makanya kan tadi kan gue udah bilang apa defendingnya susah banget. Mereka dari awal attacking udah kayak gitu udah fix suram. Waktu lawan T1 sama sebelum T1 siapa sih? Ararki ya? Gue lupa deh. Itu kan juga defendingnya udah kayak apaan? Nah, ini juaranya kalau nggak Genji Sentinel. EDG ngelawan Sentinel sama Genji kayaknya sih masih kalah ya harusnya. Sumpah, ini PRX tuh pincang banget cuy.
They come up with the historic win. I mean, just elite stuff from EDG, and I think showcasing as well. There are no bad teams in this tournament. Seriously, I think that from top
Monyet cibai anjir katain dong.
potentially make it all the way to the finals, and you're just seeing the level up across the board of these teams. I wonder how far EDG is going to go.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Honestly, like EDG, I think that they feel really confident. They have every reason to be very confident. But there were still some incredible hero moments that we were seeing from PRX.
Kalau monyet diganti, siapa yang cocok ya?
Like a 6 out of 10 actually showed us that he was more of a 10 out of 10 here today because Forsaken had some moments, man.
Kalau nggak ada yang gerakannya suram, bukan suram ya, maksudnya gerakannya gila, aimnya juga gila tuh cuman anjing anjir.
It was not enough for this PRX team to overcome EDG.
Yeah, I mean, he was just bailing them out entirely.
Siapa apak yang kayak Jing mainnya nggak ada? Ini kakak yang kanannya cakep juga nih. Pasti orang Cina nih. Gue udah habis ngelihat PRX kalah, ngelihat ginian lagi. Sakit sih. Sakitnya double ya. Mas mirip-mirip. Jauh lah kalau player Indo. Player Indo yang mainnya masih di Challenger Split, ini masih belum ada yang ini deh. Oh paling itu ARF Woody. ARF Woody tuh tajam banget aimnya, cuman dia kan mainnya Reina ya. Bukan entry. Mereka PRX butuh yang entry-nya kayak Jing anjir.
就是会被别人带入节奏，但是我们今天我们只需要把自己的东西做好，我们把自己发挥出来了，所以说我觉得
Jam 1 Sentinel tapi gue nggak nonton ya. Capek. Kepala loh, kepala. Oh, suaranya cute banget kak.
Dice que el poder de
Itu yang di sana dong. Mereka butuh entry. Itu tuh kayak yang entry kan yang depan nih, sisanya di belakang nih. Yang belakang tuh maju cepet tapi ketahan sama yang depannya, tau gak sih? Yang depannya jalan. Kalau waktu sama Jing kan yang depannya terbang, yang lain ikut lari kan. Yang ini yang belakangnya mau lari, yang depannya jalan. Udah gitu si Jing kan udah ngebuka space nge-kill lagi. Gak jelas itu orang.
What and how does that happen? How does that evolution even take place? It's so fast.
那在进入世界赛当中，就像你刚刚说到的，一直在不断的进化、不断的进步。那你觉得到底是什么能够让你们变得越来越好，一直进步呢？
Bahkan Kang nggak main OP loh dari tadi. Paling OP-nya cuma 1-2 kali gitu. Tapi biasanya kan dia main OP terus kan.
Never just don't forget our destiny and fate between all of our teammates of EDG.
Nos dice que solamente una frase, nunca olvidar el destino y lo que viene para la escuadra y para los equipos. Esto es todo lo que tengo de la entrevista. Una última o alguna frase rápida que le quiera decir a lo que van a ser los siguientes oponentes.
Mana musik yang biasa gua putar?
有没有什么话想对接下来会有面对到的队伍说的呢？
我觉得我们。
Ya guys, masih ada Sentinel, seru sih, cuman kayak Sentinel gue bakal nonton sambil rebahan, jadi kalau gue udah teler gue langsung tidur. Jadi gue gak akan stream, besok gue mau keluar. Kalau gue nonton Sentinel sampai jam 3, gue bisa bangun jam 2 siang. Gue keluarnya mau jam berapa anjir. Jadi ya, thank you ya yang udah nemenin nonton dari awal sampai akhir. Nanti kita lihat match-match berikutnya. PRX masih main karena Swiss stage itu nggak langsung elimination. Swiss masih bakal main lagi. Cuman gue nggak tahu main sampai kapan ya. Soalnya ngitung win loss gitu loh. Nanti ngitung win loss. Ya kita lihat lah nanti gimana. Tapi 3 tim yang menarik buat ditonton sih Genji, Sentinel sama PRX sih. PRX versus T1 nggak masuk anjing. Mana ada T1 di sini? Ya, yang menarik Genji, Sentinel sama PRX, cuman sayangnya Sentinelnya jam 1. Kalau gue besok nggak keluar, mungkin gue bakal nonton. Cuman ya udah jam segini. Kalau final, kalau hari Minggu juga sih, Seninnya kerja ya. Ya lihat nanti lah siapa yang ke final. Feeling gue sih Genji Sentinel sih. Kecuali Genji sama Sentinel ketemu duluan ya. Gue nggak ngerti nanti final bracketnya gimana. Apakah pure ngitung win doang atau enggak? Nanti kita lihat aja deh. Oke guys, jadi kalau kalian mau nonton Sentinel silakan ke YouTube Valorant langsung aja atau Twitch. Masih ada Sentinel lawan Heretics. Jujur gue nggak tahu Heretics sih jago apa. Tapi kalau bisa ngelawan Fanatic sih, ya mungkin bagus ya. Oke, jadi thank you semuanya. Sampai bertemu di next live streaming. See you dan selamat beristirahat. Bye bye guys. Thank you.